All right. Yell at me.
Mike is always mad at Jeff.
Yell at me.
True.
Wait. No, we're not streaming. Hang on. Let me hit the. Oh no, I did hit the button. All right. So there's not as many all-time number one bangers on the DS as there is on the Game Boy Advance, but
Hard disagree.
If you go one layer deeper, there's so many good and interesting games.
I mean, yes, but we'll get it.
Do you think the Castlevania Advanced Collection will be announced tomorrow?
I do. I do think that.
Oh, shut the hell up.
I think it's gonna.
Yes.
I don't know, but I think it's gonna shadow drop. I think it's gonna. I hope so. I want it bad. I want it bad.
You might have an orgasm.
Yeah, no.
We don't say that word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm willing to help a buddy out. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna get started here real soon. Mike was busy writing up that story about the Nintendo Direct, so he's filling out the Nintendogs rundown right now.
So blame Mike.
Chad, how do I sound? Do I sound better?
He sounds a little bit better, right? They're like, we don't care. We don't.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
They barely care how we
Get the
sound.
votes out. I love that comment that was like, they must aren't as funny as they think they are.
I know, I did
right.
Oh, who's yelling at me? You made a mess? Why would you do that?
Jeff, you might want to.
I'll be right back. Hang on, I gotta go clean a mess.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, you need to change the title. Oh,
Yeah.
He will, yeah. But they're yelling when he gets back.
It needs to be an exclamation point now.
That's something I just have to remember to check every time now with Jeff, is if he actually updated the title of the podcast. Thank you for your patience, everybody. So Jason left. Dean's on vacation. It's just me and Jeff running the whole site right now. So, and then the Nintendo Direct news dropped as we were getting ready. So, a little busy.
So you didn't know about this beforehand?
No. We had no idea.
Well, you are in Nintendo jail.
We're in Nintendo jail. Yeah, you guys gotta give me a lot of answers. Question good.
Do you think we'll see the last Smash?
This is my favorite console ever.
We will absolutely see the last Smash character.
Who do you think it'll be?
I don't know. I'm thinking about that. Somebody asked that on the
Big
show.
cat,
so
baby.
maybe
Let's
it's
go.
even you. So I'm gonna
Big cat.
wait.
Another Fire Emblem character.
Oh, if it's
Yeah.
another Fire Emblem character, people's gonna lose their collective shit.
I would like that though. It'd be funny.
It was
It would
funny
be
in the
funny.
last, the fifth. Who was the Fire Emblem character last?
Byleth.
Byleth.
Whatever the fuck that name is.
Yeah.
That pissed so many people off.
She was hilarious.
They started with Joker and then ended with Byleth.
Oh, that's right. They started with that. With the.
They also had Hero in that first round, so they have a lot of
They're gonna-
a lot of JRPG shit going on.
They're gonna.
I was fine with that.
The Joker for Batman. The Shadow Later Joker. They're gonna. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, people really want the Kiryu from Yakuza. From Yakuza.
Yakuza.
That's not happening. Maybe it will. I don't know.
You need to change the title of the video.
What's
An
wrong with it?
exclamation point.
Oh,
Change it to an
oh,
exclamation-
oh, yeah, right, yes.
What's
Exclamation
wrong
point.
with it?
I had a question
mark.
mark
I don't have those powers.
because the title was Nintendo Direct Imminent, and then they announced it since I put that there when I was in bed this
That's
morning. All right,
Now
so
it's Nintendo Direct. Imminent.
yeah, with the exclamation point, good call. All right, so
Hey Jeff, why don't you entertain people by talking a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy? I know it's not Nintendo related, but you did play that.
It's coming to Switch.
it is Nintendo related. It's coming to Switch, so I have it on my rundown here.
Cloud
It's
version.
Switch. Oh, never mind. Then.
right,
I
it's-
thought
Okay,
that's
let's
from the
talk
Switch.
about
It's a cloud
McFlurry
version.
and
Right.
whatever the fuck you were talking about on Twitter yesterday.
Listen, I don't remember what I was talking about on Twitter yesterday. I don't remember what I was talking about Twitter 10 minutes ago.
McMuffin, what was the?
Oh,
there's
McMuffin versus
everybody was
McGriddles.
talking about that.
Yes.
I mean, it's okay to like McGriddles if you're a child.
Yeah, of course. If you have baby mouth,
McGriddle's great.
point in case right
Well,
there.
okay. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. You just murdered him. What happened? You should die there.
I don't want to know how old Nick Turbo is, but my assumption is he's like 12, 13. Is that
12,
right?
yeah.
Is that not the right range? Listen,
Wow.
the McGriddle is fine every once in a while. It's okay to have a baby mouth. I will show up and I will if they accidentally give me a McGriddle, which happens sometimes, I'll eat it. Egg McMuffin. Egg McMuffin is just more like, hey, I just woke up. I went to McDonald's for breakfast, so I'm already not making great choices. Let me
You should
just
storm in and become a Karen.
yeah, let me just
one's
get
gonna be
something
good.
that's going to keep me going today. And Egg McMuffin is much better for that than the other.
Yeah.
But also, neither of them are great. Really, they are both a bit weird and dry
Okay,
in
well,
odd
whoa,
ways.
I mean, you are going to McDonald's.
Now you're just picking like the chaos answer here. No,
No, the chaos
McMuffins
answer
are
is-
fantastic.
It's the Burger King croissant sandwich. You go get
Those
that
are good.
croissant. Those are great.
Yeah,
Those,
those are
There
also
you go.
good. Those are also good.
No, the chaos answer is Taco Bell breakfast.
Taco Bell breakfast was pretty. Wendy's had a breakfast for a while. I don't know if they do it anymore. It was okay. Taco Bell had they had like a California breakfast wrap thing with avocado in it. That was actually pretty good.
I'm an adult, so my breakfast is croissants and coffee or tea.
I
See,
don't really
that's not
eat
being adult.
breakfast
That's
anymore.
being not American. Like you're
That's
you're not from the United States, so you have like a pretty responsible, like mild breakfast, and we're all like,
Yeah.
it's the heartiest meal of the day. We got to eat all our calories right now.
You're like,
I don't even eat
fucking
breakfast
sausage.
anymore.
Yeah, I tend to skip a lot of breakfasts now.
I just eat like a granola bar,
Right,
or
exactly.
square or something for breakfast. Like I'm not a big breakfast person, but I tell you what, when I do want to treat for myself for breakfast, I immediately think of McDonald's. I'm not gonna lie. If I just want some greasy, like satisfying hot shit, I go to
I
McDonald's.
do just like their hash browns.
The hash browns are good, but hash browns are good at like most fast food places, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to mess up a hash brown.
Yeah.
it's hard to mess up potatoes in general.
Oh no, because no, you can mess them up because like there's a very simple trap. You can just not cook them enough, and then they're awful, or you cannot salt them enough.
I
I hate
guess
undercooked
those are-
potatoes.
only a child will do that.
Well, I'm gonna be surprised how many family gatherings one can go to with poorly prepared potatoes.
Oh no.
Not calling anybody out specifically.
I love
Are they-
mashed potatoes.
Would they even be listening right now? Like any family members like that? Or
No,
they
but like, my parents will be listening. Maybe they're gonna start spreading rumors like he doesn't like someone's
Oh,
potatoes.
God.
It sounds like you don't like anyone's potatoes.
All right, Nick Turbo, I am not including this question. Why is Mega Man bad? Come on. Obvious low effort trolling.
Wow. It's a genuine question.
Yeah,
Is it?
sure.
So,
I'm not even sure if you
yeah, how
actually
is
dislike Mega Man or
definitely-
not.
Why do you don't like Mega Man?
I'm just joking because that one time where you banned me for saying that.
That's right.
Oh,
True.
I've never given it a chance, really.
Well, it was a bit before your time.
Yeah.
like 20 years before this time.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
We're almost.
I'm sorry I'm not a boomer.
How
Hey.
dare you?
I'm sorry, I don't know what a landline is. Oh shit, no signal.
Nah, it's all right. I'm fixing it.
You have to remake the entire stream every time you stream?
Nope. No, most of
Well,
it's saved.
You make choices along this production of the podcast, and I don't think they were the correct ones.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
too much
Well, let's criticize right now. Right now.
I'm
Let's just
sorry.
Let's go for it.
There's way too much setup for it. I don't know why it's so much
Well, no,
setup.
I just there's not that much setup, honestly. I hit a couple buttons to switch to the Nintendogs thing, and we're. Oh wait, I'm not on the Nintendogs thing. Hang on, I should do that.
It's so easy.
Shut
a child
up.
could do it.
Oh, that's right. There we go. Okay.
John
I just
Cody's
think
watching
might
this
be-
on the toilet.
There has to be a better way.
All right, I think
we're all good.
We're all good with the thing. I'm gonna get my drinky drink, and then we should be ready. I'll be right back.
All right.
Just how
Round
it's
three,
your.
Let's go.
When is your Death League review coming out?
Gonna have a green tea. Drinky, Frankie. For me, puppy treats for my puppy.
Wow. Even when he's not here, he dominates like the call with his loud voice.
He's a diva.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a diva.
He's such a diva.
Yeah.
You should just, Mike. You should just go on the toilet as well.
Yeah, let's look here in peace like last time.
But it's green. What makes it green? Probably leaves.
How long? I'm pretty sure he's listening to us because he has
Yeah.
like a long ass fucking cable.
Yeah, I
for
think he's
some
got the long cable. Yeah.
reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Like I could
Yeah,
go
I
to the
hope
bathroom.
Kenny chooses the cable.
Long ass cable. What the
I
fuck?
don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard I try. Keep that in mind. I was riding I like green tea every time that I'm drinking a tea. I wish it was green like me.
What?
Wow.
It's a Super GX.
You guys can't hear the music, so I'll just do it.
It's a big game. There's like clearly a big arc. Excuse
You're
me,
gonna get
arcade racing.
copyright strike if you keep doing that.
You could just remaster this game, put it on a
Yes.
Switch right now,
Yes, you
and it
could.
would be just good. It would be good to go. Nothing else. Nothing else. Let me get.
Yeah, just like upgrade the resolution. Fuck it.
You're using Dolphin. Do you have a legal copy of this game?
What? Yes. I probably do somewhere
Dude,
actually.
Don't don't be like that. We're
Once you abandon your franchise for like,
on the Nintendo Shop forever.
once you abandon your franchise for 15 years, you're allowed to pirate it. That's in the Constitution.
That's yeah. George Washington was really worried about that.
Yeah, I was real concerned.
Yeah.
Guns and
He went out to his hemp
Cool.
fields and came back. He's like, man, I want to emulate some shit right now.
Jeff, that's somebody who was actually at the Constitutional Convention. In fact, he was the chairman. Let's see who else. Let's see if you know who else was there. Was Benjamin Franklin there?
Yes.
Yes. Was Thomas Jefferson there?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No,
he's in
he's a
France.
France, you fucking idiot.
I had no fucking idea who rolled the
Yeah, it was in France.
my country.
Who's
The okay, he was at the Constitutional Convention. Sorry,
Was
he showed up
Hamilton
right
there?
afterward.
What was? No, he showed up way before that, you idiot. And then afterwards, God, was John Adams there?
Yes, of course. He was like, yeah. He was
Oh
like
my
the
God,
loudest.
you fucking stupid asshole! He was also in Europe.
Wait,
he
the-
wasn't there.
Oh, you're talking about the Constitutional Convention. Oh
Yes!
no, of course no, he wasn't
of course
there.
I am.
Was Hamilton there?
Yes, he was there. Hamilton was one of the main architects. Who was the number one architect of this? Who was the father of the Constitution? Jeff, tell me.
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
Jimmy Monroe.
James Monroe? No, relatively close. But no, it's James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison. That's what I
You
meant.
stupid asshole.
Jimmy Madison. Yeah, there we go.
You gotta repeat the year, brother.
Man,
Sorry, I was
Jeff,
confusing the Constitutional Convention with the first one.
Second Continental Congress. Yes, I know
yes,
you're mixing up with me, dummy.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff, we force the poor immigrants to learn the stuff. They become naturalized citizens, and you can't even be bothered.
I can't
to learn
really.
it.
Honestly, you know what? Stop bothering me. It's kind of how I feel right now. All right.
Are you gonna
Nintendogs.
do this Yeah, I was about to say
Oh,
that.
hello. Sorry, I just changed the profile. Excuse me, so it was gone. Wait, where's Mike? Where's Mike? Did the internet die? No, I can see chat. Where's Mike? Help, I'm scared.
I swear to
Hello?
God, if one of the mods moved me out of that channel again, I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna ban them.
Oh, okay, turn your video back on.
Well, because that's it.
Wait,
Where's
I don't
Nick?
want to. I just want to see you. There we go. All right. Where's Nick? Got to investigate this crime.
I can't. What happens if I block? I don't want to block him. Am I not a mod anymore? Jeff, you have to ban Nick. I demand it. I refuse to start unless he's gotten a timeout.
All right, let me deal with it. Wait, ban him from which thing? The Discord or from?
Well,
or from the
Discord might
chat?
be too problematic, but the chat, who cares?
All right, can I time? Let me see if I can time out a mod.
Yeah,
let's see
I'm
here.
not allowed to time him out because he's a mod. Oh, that's right. We had to make him a mod because of the one last one did. Oh, we can't do it. Take away his mod powers. Take away. He loses those privileges.
I hit the button. A message leave by Jeff. Okay, yeah, that worked. All right.
Good. Good.
All right, there we go. Okay, Mike,
Yeah.
I have that there. I need to tweet. That's what I need to do,
Yeah.
and then we can get started.
I was actually forgetting about that
hey.
myself.
Everybody loves the pre-show, right? Everyone's okay
Yeah.
with this whole mess.
Well, look, it's literally just me and Jeff right now at GamesBeat. Dean's on vacation and Jason's gone. He's done. So if any breaking news happens in the gaming industry at all, you guys are obligated to let us know because we're the only ones on watch right now.
Oh my god! Oh fuck! Oh my god!
Somebody
What
thinks
happened
I
then?
am one to be messed with.
Did you just get kicked out again?
Mm-hmm.
He does not seem pleased, people.
Where is he?
Where is he? All right. hang on.
Remove friend. No longer on the friend list. Remove to permanently remove dictator from your friends. Yes, no friend of mine would treat me like this. And now I'll add a note that says meanie. Okay, so now, yes. Oh, he just sent me a friend request. Ignore. That'll show him. Okay. Also, I'm not centered anymore.
Oh
But yes, I
yeah.
am now. I was watching the
Yeah,
YouTube thing.
yeah. I just fixed it. Yeah.
I was in the middle of tweeting.
Oh my god! He did it again. Okay. All right, Nick Turbo, no more. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to listen. I think I'm encouraging him by laughing so hard. His face. Oh. You okay, Mike?
Where are his questions from the dog? I'm just not answering those. What do you guys do when you run out of systems? Who cares? What's your favorite DS game, Nick Turbo? No one cares.
Oh, wow. Wow. This is the punishment.
You also use the wrong there, so your grammar sucks. all right. Let's get you ready.
Okay. Hey. Oh wait. Stream Deck is. Listen. Shut up.
What'd you do now?
Nothing. I just got to test this audio. It's probably not going to work.
Oh yeah. Excuse me.
You guys hear me? Start cheering now!
And I'm already getting those holiday gift guide emails, Jeff.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. What did I need? Let's see here. What am I using on here? I'm probably not using the right thing because I think I did a podcast since last week. There we go. That's the little thing I gotta try.
I need to take my glasses off.
Chat mic. And then I hit this button.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now!
You can hear that?
No.
No? God damn it. Listen, everybody, we're professionals. This is wait, where is everything?
This is party time. Excellent. Wayne's World. Well, let's see. Did I just get a message? Oh. Also, my dad's in knee surgery, minor surgery, but I might get a call or text at some point letting me know he's done and everything's good. So,
Okay.
yeah, you all better be wishing my dad a fast recovery, especially Nick Turbo.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now.
Yes. No, you couldn't hear that.
Oh, I can hear that. Sorry, I was thinking about if a joke I was going to say about my dad dying on the operating table, so I could blame it on Nick Turbo was going too far or not.
Yeah, I can see you. Your face.
My mind was racing. I was like, I probably shouldn't go there.
You disappeared. Yeah, for a second
Yeah,
there.
we're talking
Okay.
some wood just in case. I don't know.
All right.
My father is an incredibly superstitious man too, so he would probably have hated that joke. He would not understand. He would not appreciate the nuance of my humor.
Just joking about you dying, Dad.
Come on, you got that. You got the will settled, though, right?
Turbo Sean says, Jeff, before you guys start, sounds like Mike is using the wrong mic. I have a pretty bad ear for this sort of thing. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. That does not sound right.
Okay, so I guess you were right that first time. Oh, well, first off, the gain's too high because of what I was doing last time, but also maybe not the right mic. Why would it do that? 1 second.
Yep, no problem. Thank you, Turbo Sean. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I can feel like I hear like there's like a tweet in the background that I don't. Oh, that's better. That's better.
There we go. Good.
Yay! Thank you, Turbo Sean, for what a hero.
Yeah. If it was doing that, it was probably using the webcam has like a stupid
probably.
microphone. It's like you obviously want to use that, right? Like no.
Yeah, I just my because I have like. Yeah, I just can't hear that. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Turbo Sean.
Thank you. So my headphones, I don't even have the thing plugged in. Are we leveled? We good, everybody?
Yeah, let me take one last look at the level and okay. So I'm talking at this level. Yeah, that looks right. That looks right. Okay. All right, Mike, you ready?
Nick Turbo got out of jail. Can we put him back into jail? I feel like one time that was not nearly enough for him.
Where can you type something and I'll make you a mod and you do what you do your dark deeds.
I'm not a mod.
I don't know.
I'm a mod. I don't know. Don't worry about it. Let's get going.
All right. I'm gonna hit the record button after I count down. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hello, I am Mike Minotti and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs.
Woof, 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 woof.
Today we've got Nintendo Direct hype. It's happening. It happened just a bit before we started here. It's real. We're gonna talk about that, all our hopes and dreams.
Yes.
And we're also talking about our favorite Nintendo DS games. So it's gonna be a very fun episode. Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I made the title of this thing. I woke up at like 7, went to go check on the baby who usually is upset because Mama left for work. So I hopped in bed with her, had the laptop, and I made the name of the title here. Best DS games and Nintendo Direct imminent ? And since then, we've had to change that to an exclamation point. So I'm feeling pretty good because that's happening. Like we know that now. Everyone was kind of suspecting one in September. I think we were expecting one earlier, but it's eventually we were going to get this one. And it does feel like the U.S. government was responsible for leaking this one with that whole the controller patent thing. It's like, hey, could you please keep this quiet so that no one hears? And then they did the thing that my Discord did to me, and they're like, yeah, we'll keep it quiet until Friday, September 24th or whatever. It's like, okay, so we'll know by then. All right, cool.
Great, thank you guys. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I can't believe this is actually happening. So That's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. I guess maybe we should just get into that. Are you ready to talk about the Direct, Jeff? The very real, actually happening in a full Direct too. I thought maybe the next one was going to be like a mini or a partnered thing. No, actual 40-minute Direct.
Yeah, I was in that same mindset, especially after the last 2 weeks. I'm like, they're probably going to hold off, and we won't even hear about it, and then just we'll wake up one morning and there will be a YouTube video called a Nintendo Direct Mini. But no, they're making relatively large promises here. They said it's mostly games happening with coming winter 2021 or whatever, this winter. So this stuff that's coming up this holiday season. That's the term they use for their holiday season. But I still think they would try to hedge their bets a little bit more in terms of getting excitement up if this wasn't going to be a pretty substantial direct. I think this is going to have a lot of stuff in it. So,
I mean, the 40-minute just full-on directs are always, pretty substantial.
Yes.
So, and the full detail series is tomorrow, September 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific, so 6 p.m. Eastern time. Nobody cares about those middle time zones, right, Jeff?
But Nintendo doesn't normally do these late afternoon ones in the U.S. time zones, right? Or is this normally when they do it?
You know what? That doesn't sound right, but I can't remember.
Okay.
No, I don't know. You ask me right now, when does Nintendo normally do a direct? I have no answer for you.
That's fair. I feel like I always remember it's like kind of getting up early and they happen in the morning, but I guess I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see if there's any reason why this is different, but it just feels like it's like, we'll go for it and we'll do it like late European time zone, early morning Japanese time zone, and that's that. But I don't know.
let's talk about the things we are almost definitely going to see here. First off, the last Smash Brothers character is going to get revealed. That absolutely happens. It happens every time there's a big direct like this, and there's one more character left. It's been like a bit now since the last one came out, so we're finally getting it. So that'll be exciting, and they'll probably give it a release date of a bit. Am I muted, Jeff? Really?
No.
Never mind, says Ryan. Okay, Ryan. Someone thinks that I was muted, and it freaked me out, Ryan.
Well, I mean, you just gave me a heart attack.
You gave me a heart attack too.
I know, but it's not your fault. Like, you've done a lot of work, and I respect that you would have a heart attack. Like, you've done a lot, and like it would be bad if like all that stuff was lost. But it would be my fault, and then also we'd have to do it again. So
I thought Nick Turbo was messing with me again.
I know. Somehow the ghost of Nick Turbo got into the machine.
Nick Turbo. Oh gosh. So that's happening. I think we're probably going to hear about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, right?
Yes, with almost without a doubt. Like, that's happening. We thought we were going to hear about it earlier this month because they were took the website off for a day, but they were probably still getting ready for this now, and they're going to announce it, I think.
Yeah. Other pretty likely things here. At least one of the Game Boy or Nintendo 64 things happening with the Switch online service, right?
Yeah, I think that at this point, I thought it was going to just be Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and we get Nintendo 64 later. But at this point, it feels like with that controller, right? It feels like we're going to get all of it. That's pretty strange, right? If it's all of it, it feels like that's not Nintendo. They want to.
Yeah, but maybe you want to do a big drop, right? You want to get people excited about Nintendo Switch Online. I think they realize maybe some people are going to come back if we just do Game Boy. Maybe some will come back if we just do 64. But if you do both of those, a lot of people are going to drop $20. Or the rumors even that it's going to be like a new tier to access 64, right?
Right,
so,
that makes sense. So I guess you do have to do a lot at that point. Yeah. So
no, it still could be staggered. It still could be like, this one's in the future and this one's happening now. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
Right. So then now there's kind of maybe some questionable things. Are we seeing more Breath of the Wild here? Is it getting a name? Is it getting a release date? What do you think we'll get with that game?
I think Breath of the Wild is a no. I think we saw that at E3, and we'll see that again maybe at the Game Awards or somewhere else, but probably not here.
How about Bayonetta 3? There's been some noise around that one recently.
I say yes. We get Bayonetta 3. We get a release date even. We get all of it.
Winter release date? Is this one of these winter games?
Early next year. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
That's the Jeff Grubb guarantee lock.
Splatoon 3, because that was not at E3, right? We haven't seen that one in a little bit.
That makes some sense, right? Because we didn't see it at E3. It's coming next year. You maybe start that marketing campaign, anew now, and you show a little bit more from it, and then there's more, early next year, if not at the Game Awards. Like, they can't have 5 things at the Game Awards. That's probably not going to be how it goes. So, they'll probably do something here for this, maybe.
How about Silk Song, Jeff?
Fuck no. That's never coming out.
That's never happening.
That's not real.
It's not a thing. All right. Okay. How about Fire Emblem? We're getting another Fire Emblem something, a remake or a new game?
I am hopeful. I guess I haven't like looked exactly at Intelligent Systems' recent output. They did work on WarioWare,
That maybe wasn't like a full thing taxing their resources.
No, because Koei Tecmo was also working on that WarioWare game. So, I wonder, but that sounds like the team that like probably was doing some of like the Fire Emblem stuff, because it was Intelligent Systems and Koei Tecmo working on those games, I think. So, but who knows? Maybe there was another team working on a remake of one of those like the Game Boy Advance games or something like that. That seems possible. That seems like we could be due for that.
We'll probably see more of Triangle Strategy. That'll probably have a real name now.
Yeah. So we should just call it Triangle Strategy. Just lean into it.
Man,
Who cares?
I don't know. When it was like Project, what was that? Gosh, I can't remember. I wanted to call it Bravely Default. The other game they made.
Yeah, Project
Octopath
8 Ways.
Traveler.
Yeah, there we go.
It was Project Octopath Traveler. Like, well, they'll probably just call it Octopath Traveler. That's got to change. How about the Zelda HD collection? We have the Skyward Sword's now out. It's been out. Are we getting Wind Waker? Are we getting Twilight Princess together?
I am going to say no, because I think they're going to wait a little bit closer to Breath of the Wild 2, and I think Breath of the Wild 2 is not until late next year, but that's just a guess.
The Castlevania Advanced Collection, Jeff, is this
This
really happening? Yeah?
That's gotta happen. It's rated everywhere. To me, this is a shadow drop. To me, this is something.
Don't even say that.
I'm getting my hopes up. I am getting my hopes up. This is something they announce at the Direct, and then it's available, and it's available everywhere, whatever. But it's definitely something you want to announce at a Direct.
No.
Yeah, that's happening. That's gotta.
Oh God, I would just absolutely love that. That'd be so good. I mean, that feels like, oh, okay. How about the Mario team? Are we going to see what is that like? Could that be the one last big thing here? Mario Odyssey 2 or their Donkey Kong thing, which I really don't believe that anymore. But like whatever they're doing next,
I think we get something from the Mario team now.
Oh.
I do. Yeah. I think that's what a big Direct is like right now. I guess they could have shown it at E3, but I think you mostly talk about games that are coming up relatively soon. And then you talk about a couple games for next year, and it's probably Splatoon and it's probably Donkey Kong.
Splatoon could be a winter game. Could be Splatoon 3 could be.
Yeah, you're right. It could be. I guess for some reason I'm just imagining summer.
April.
I'm just like imagining summer for that game.
Yeah, sure, but yeah, I mean that does make some sense, but still, yeah, I mean the description for it says mostly about games coming out winter.
Yes.
So like it's clear they're going to talk about at least like one or two things.
That's
beyond
how they
that.
always say it when they have stuff beyond that. Yes.
Right. So it could be, yeah. All right. So I think that's a lot of the big stuff. I mean, of course, like who knows? Maybe we'll see a new Kirby or something else. But
sure, yeah, we could.
Like, speculation.
Right, we could be due for any number of those. Do you think we get any returns of classic franchises? They've done some. They've done Advance Wars and WarioWare. Do we get F-Zero?
That's the thing, right? That I was literally about to say that's really the only one that's reasonably possible that I care about at this point. Like, of course, I'd like to see Star Tropics return. Don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I mean, I tell you what, there must be somebody at Nintendo who's going, that Cruise and Blast game is selling way better than anybody would have thought. We barely even knew it existed. Bob from marketing certified it and allowed it to be on the store, and it's like everyone's talking about it. Didn't we have one of those kinds of franchises, right?
We'll go look at the stacks. We'll see if anything we could dust off, and then
Right. I mean, you were just playing F-Zero GX before the stream started, and it's like you could literally just remaster that, and it would be good to go on the Switch.
Yes, it would. It is awesome as is, and there's a a hole there in the lineup. There's like we got Cruise and Blast, but that just like almost like teases like what could be possible right now with arcade games, arcade style racers. Yeah, do F-Zero. That'd be great. But I mean, who knows? Who knows what Nintendo's actually going to end up doing?
Right, but
with that kind of stuff.
Aside from that, like I don't know, like I don't think we're getting a new Star Fox. I don't think Golden Sun is gonna like come back. Like a big surprise. Like honestly, like anything else, maybe Kid Icarus is ready to to do it again. Maybe.
Would Sakurai be involved in that?
Yeah, I bet he'd be involved. I don't know if he'd be like the hardcore super director of it now, but
he's still finishing. I guess. I mean, if he's finishing it, he could like pick up from there. I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the last DLC character for Smash Brothers, and there doesn't need to be a new Smash Brothers immediately. Kind of like what there was with the Wii U going to the Switch version, right? Like they basically probably just stopped making content for that game and just immediately started working on Ultimate. So I imagine he gets to not worry about Smash Brothers for at least a couple or few years here.
Jeff in chat says no one is talking about Cruise and Blast, and that's just not right. We are all talking about Cruise and Blast. And if you're not talking about Cruise and Blast, I don't want to talk to you.
I'm shocked how many people are talking about it, and they should be because it's great.
I saw you playing it last night. You like it? We can talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But there's that game has to be doing whatever projections they had for it or hopes. It has to be doing better than that. Because I'm sure this is a game that they thought people would barely notice, and instead it's something of a talking point.
Yep. Yeah, it's been like one of those games of the moment for a lot of people. Like, yeah, I mean, I think relatively speaking, no one's talking about it compared to like a big game that is a big marketing push like Kena, I guess, or Kena, however you're supposed to say it.
It is Kena. Now that I've played it, I can say
it is Kena. Okay, fantastic. So, but relative to what the expectations for that game had to have been, Cruise and Blast seems like a huge success. So,
I mean, it is ultimately a port of a 5-year-old arcade game that nobody knew existed.
Right.
So,
yes,
that's pretty good.
Any other thoughts about the direct, Mike? I'm curious if you have any other hunches or anything.
No, nothing like crazy that's coming to mind. I think now the problem is we said there's got to be like the one big thing. My quote unquote worry is that it is just Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah,
which is like fine. Like those games don't exactly. Even though I played both of them, I didn't play X. Maybe that gets a port too, by the way. I don't know. But like that doesn't set my world on fire. So if that's like the one less thing, now a lot of people will be very excited about that, and that's fine. But it's just not exactly my thing. I would be more excited about Mario.
Yeah, we're getting our hopes way high for this one. I think a big part of that is we do have a pretty good idea of some of the stuff that is going to be there, like Xenoblade, and then stuff like Castlevania Advance seems like it's probably going to be there. But
it seems like it's just finally its time.
Yeah, Bayonetta, exactly. And it's like if we get all of those, and then they announce like a Fire Emblem remake. That's like that's a direct right there. But it also feels like, oh, okay, but I was expecting either more information on Metroid Prime 4, I know
to say that we didn't even bring that up, and I'm not really
but like something like that, like what is the Mario team working on next? What is happening with the Splatoon? It feels like we got to kind of get like that next big game in there as well. For this to be a full home run now that we've been waiting for it for so long, even though it's been a couple weeks later than we thought it was going to be, but that's that. But yeah. Mike, I'm sorry, I got to take a quick break. I'm getting yelled at because apparently there is poo-poo in the butt. So
nice.
I'm going to go deal with that.
You handle that.
I'll be right back, everybody.
Fantastic. While he's gone, if anybody has anything else they want to wildly speculate about with the direct, I see our Fogo, Disco Elysium. Is that, man, I don't even... That is such an on my to-do list game, and I honestly was thinking about it with my Steam Deck, but I guess if that came to Switch and it ran really well, that would make things easy. Is it coming to Switch? Is it already announced? I don't even know. I know nothing about that. HD Wii Sports. Yeah, man, wouldn't it be weird if there's like, here's a new Ice Climbers game? What would that even look like? I remember playing Ice Climbers after they got added to Melee, because I'll be like, oh man, I want to see what that game's like. I don't really like that game. Actually, that rumored Resident Evil game for Switch, that's not bad. Alpha Piece, that could be a big something they could show, right? That would make some sense. Captain Toad sequel, Jeff, I could see that being a thing. I wonder how well the port of Treasure Tracker did, because I feel like almost the expectation for every Wii U game that gets ported to Switch is that it has to sell better than it did on Wii U, which isn't a very hard bar to overcome. And I wonder if Treasure Tracker managed that. That would make some sense. Man, everybody really wants the Yakuza guy for Smash Brothers, huh? I don't know why. Like, I guess I'm just not a giant Yakuza fan, so that would be a bit of a letdown for me personally. But it also makes some sense. Ace Attorney 7, could happen. Tomas, I mean, that was part of that Capcom leak forever ago, also. And then we've had a little bit of breathing room since. All right, I'm getting the flute out. We had a little bit of breathing room since we got the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So it is a possibility. Ooh, that's the D again. Yeah, a little Picard flute for you. That's not right. Oh gosh, it's hard to do on this giant thing. When you play with the empties, and it's like, where am I putting? How am I holding this thing if I'm not pressing any notes down? You got to put your fingers in between the notes, and then it's hard because now they're no longer aligned with the notes and the holes, and it's difficult. There's the start of Song of Storms. I learned how to play it for somebody. Now I immediately forget it again. Play Stairway to Heaven. I do not know the Cruise and Blast song. Okay, I'll say this. I love Cruise and Blast. I'm not super sold on that theme song. Oh, shit. I hope you didn't hear that. Don't tell him I said that. All right, yeah, Klonoa remasters. That would be fantastic. Yeah, Wii Music too, starring Mike Minotti from Nintendo. I'll be in Nintendo jail with one of those striped jail outfits. Jeff, you didn't hear what I said. Did you?
Sorry, there's a kid yelling at me, but I'm more mad about what I just heard when I sat down.
I can't hear you.
Hang on, I'm sorry.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I still can't hear you.
What do you mean you can't hear me? Oh, did you mute me? You have me deafened. He has me deafened. You. This is not my fault. He has me deafened. There, you unmuted me there. You can hear me now, right?
Oh my, Nick Turbo. Wait, how was I deafened? Who deafened me? I swear Nick Turbo did it. So Nick, okay, all right, Nick, you can't do this stuff.
Sorry, I had to come here to tell you that this is everything that's happening to you, Mike, is Nick Turbo fucking you over.
Yeah, well, he can't do it during the show.
I came here to snitch because it's becoming too much. You have to stop. We need to do something about this criminal.
Yeah, I agree.
Just that.
I mean, he thinks it's funny. It's
not funny. That's what I'm telling him. He's not listening.
Okay. We'll ban Nick Turbo after the show. Are you there, Jeff?
Yeah, they can't hear you because we're listening to the Cruise and Blast song instead. Yep.
I'm very happy, by the way.
Listen, she's mad because I'm working over here, but she's fine. She just wants to watch a show with me, or she wants me to go play Chuchel for her. She's fine. Okay, well, you can't. Go play.
It's rough. Rough being a kid.
Yeah.
All right, we got so much more to do here, by the way. We still have a real job, so let's get to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You ready for the rest of the news?
Yep.
All right. Hey, Jeff, Deltarune Chapter 2 came out. A bit of a surprise launch there. It's also free. It sounds like this is free, and Chapters 3 through 5 are coming out later, maybe together, and then you have to pay for them. I was kind of a little confused about that. Jeff, I was actually meaning to ask you, like, what do you think about Undertale and Deltarune? Have you played these games much?
I played Undertale, and I think it's fine. It was fun. It was okay. I don't love it like people love it, but it was like a solid, fun experience. I just thought it was nice, but it didn't like change my life or anything. So I don't need to go play Deltarune.
Yeah, maybe your kid hates you because you have bad opinions about.
Yeah, she's a big Undertale fan. That's the thing. That's the difference. I'm gonna yell at her. Hang on.
She's on Switch. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, Mathias. So, I tell you what, I want to play it really bad, but gosh, I've got some other things I'm playing. Something for review. I'm still playing some Cruise and Blast. It is on the to-do list. Jeff, that Nintendo Switch controller application, like patent thing, you talked about this a bit. Is this a Nintendo 64 thing? Is that what you all think this is?
I don't know, but probably. That seems right. Like, it's not a Game Boy thing. That'd be weird to attach to a Switch.
It would be. Like, how'd that make any sense? All right, we had the Pokemon trading card game live announced for PC and mobile. We were kind of talking about this because we were talking about that surprisingly great Pokemon card game for the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color, whatever. I think it was just original Game Boy. It was good stuff. So now we have this. Now, this is more in the Hearthstone vein, like just of being a digital card game. Also doesn't have a Switch version, which is kind of confusing here. Jeff, did you ever really like the Pokemon trading card game?
No, I've always been like interested in trying it. Like it seems like a lot of fun. I've never played the Game Boy Color game, the video game, and I've never really even played the hard copy version. But I've always been interested, so I might check this out. I don't know. This is like they've done an app that was the Pokemon trading card game, right? So
Yeah,
what is
and it
different
was kind
here?
of it was man. I remember I saw it at like a PAX, and I've only been to 2 PAXs, like 2011, 2012, or something like that. So that was like a browser-based thing. I don't even know if it ever had a mobile version, and it looked kind of rough. Like it worked; it was the Pokemon card game, but it was kind of rough. So
Yeah, it
an
looked
updated
kind of like it
version-
was made in Flash or something, or
Yes.
like Adobe
it looked like a
Shockwave or
club-
something.
Yeah, it looked like a Neopets something.
Yes,
It looked like
exactly.
that.
Yes, made for the web.
Yeah, so it wasn't great. So this makes more sense. I don't know how much I really want to get back into Pokemon cards. That is a bit too 12-year-old Mikey for me to be comfortable about.
Yeah, I don't want to like buy a bunch of packs. That's when I'll bounce off for sure.
Hmm. Hey, the Monster Hunter Rise Mega Man collaboration starting on September 24th. They've been doing a few of these kind of Capcom crossovers. There was the one with Amaterasu from Okami. And now I can't remember any of the other ones, but there was that one, and now we're getting finally a good one with Mega Man.
She's hurting herself. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh my gosh, she's hurting herself. I'm like, man, anybody else really feeling voyeuristic here? Like, Jeff, just turn the camera a little bit to the left. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm like, ooh, kid's in trouble. I get quiet and awkward. I better play some flute stuff again. I better get that back on. We gotta chill the mood. This will calm her down. Mike D, here's the D. There's your D. High D. Low D. It's hard to go back and forth fast. That's a good exercise you should do. It's hard with this thing. The holes are so big. You gotta use so much of your fingers to cover them up. And if you don't, you get weird things like this. I can't even play it wrong by accident. I'll talk about big holes all I want. I can't play Megalovania. Oh, Top Gear theme. I should learn that one. Yeah. Is that Tommy Tallarico, or is that just in? I know he does it in Video Games Live, and it's very good. But he's also kind of lost his mind. So Tommy Tallarico is an interesting figure right now. I'm gonna learn the Earthworm Jim 4 theme song. Then we'll all be happy. Ooh. Hmm. Okay, it wasn't pretty, but we got there. We got there. We sent Oogway to the afterlife. He's happy now. There's plenty of peach trees.
I'm back.
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Are you gonna have fun editing this one?
Yep, whatever. It is what it is. She just like pulled the gate down on top of herself, and then every time she hurts herself, she freaks out and like and pukes. And I'm like, I gotta clean that up now. So
Fun.
She's okay. She had a chocolate ball. She's happy.
There you go. She got her bribe, you mean?
Yes, exactly. That's it. It works. Whatever.
Jeff, how excited are you about the goddamn Monster Hunter Rise Mega Man collaboration?
Yeah.
Number 24. I tell you what.
Woo!
So it basically just makes your Palamika, whatever, the wolf dog thing look like Rush, but it's great because
that's great actually.
It incorporates the animation. So like when you jump off of him, it looks like you're using Rush Coil. When you sprint, it looks like you're using Rush Jet. So I haven't started up Rise in a while, but I will absolutely be starting it up in a couple days so I can unlock this thing because it is a must-own.
When did Rush come into Mega Man games? When was he
Mega Man
first?
3, my favorite.
Okay, all right. So this is like big for you then.
Oh yes. Oh, Jeff, I know the answer to those questions. I could do that all day. Mega Man 3 is the first one with Rush and Proto Man. Mega Man 4 is the first one with Beat. Yes. No. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Which one was the first one with Eddie? Now that one, there's a question. I think 5.
That's actually Tekken 3.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah.
I think it's 5. I think that's right. All right then, Jeff's Animal Crossing is teaming up with Puma to make some shoes and clothes. I tell you what, some of this stuff looks pretty. What's the word kids are saying today? On point? Is it on point? I think that's old now.
Yeah, on point. So on fleek is actually also old, but that's what I would say. It looks on fleek. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awful. So,
yeah,
but
thank you.
Yeah, the shoes specifically look nice. They use those kind of cool muted Animal Crossing color palette that makes you feel all cozy and comfy. So
yeah,
not bad.
I like all these. Like Animal Crossing's got a cool style. It does. Like in general, like it's island vibes, but you can like it's because it has like the whole seasonal system. You can kind of do any season with it, and it still works.
Yeah.
I think it's got like a good color palette. I like Animal Crossing's vibe, and turning that into clothes and shoes is probably a good idea. It's worked before. They had stuff when New Horizons launched, and now to continue that's awesome.
Yeah. Last thing here. So the Metal Slug first and second mission double pack is out on Switch. This is actually the two, or at least I think it was the only two, but the two Metal Slug games that came out for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. So now you might be wondering why play those on the Switch. We can actually just play the original ones with the incredible, sprite graphics. And I don't have a great answer for that, but these were still fun, and it was really cool that we had these portably back in the day. I bet they're still worth playing if you're like a mega fan. So I'm excited about that. I actually have been thinking recently that like I want to play some Metal Slug. I think I was looking like which one's the best one. I think people think 3 is. So I got to get to that.
When does that Metal Slug Tactics game come out? Metal Slug.
Not next year.
That's
is all we
next
know.
year.
2022.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that game's gonna be fantastic.
I can't wait.
Yes, that was the game that maybe got me being a little too on main, as the kids say, right? I don't know.
Horny on main.
I was trying to avoid saying that word specifically, Jeff.
Oh, horny. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Horny.
Please stop saying it like that. For the love of God.
Chad is mad that I said on fleek, and they're like, that's off by a decade as well. So they call us boomers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, some of the stuff I don't know. As soon as you said that, I was like, well, that can't possibly be right.
And then Sam Carroll went on in the chat, says like the only thing kids know how to say is cap and capping, and that's right. I hear that 50 times a day, and I still don't fully understand it. People have explained it to me. Like no cap.
Team Fortress Classic, when you're capturing the flag, you got to cap the flag.
You could be right. Who knows? But like, it's like no capping. Like it sounds like you're capping for Microsoft is what they'll say, or you're capping for Sony, and it sounds like maybe you're capturing for them. I don't know. That's as good of an explanation as in
Blood Gulch.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm okay. There goes Chad. All right. Whatever.
No
I
cap
regret
equals
this.
no lies. What is
Yeah,
cap
I know.
short for?
I guess capping just means lying.
Is somebody misspelled crap, like no crap, and now it's this cap? They'd be like, you laugh. That might be it.
Yeah, for sure. But that's like very Joe Biden. Like, oh, what is all this malarkey? Like,
this malarkey. I'm gonna tell it to you straight.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. That's it for the news. Are you ready for some questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick Turbo, who I'm fighting with, asks, "What are you guys going to do when you run out of systems?" Like, so each week
we're gonna rank things. I'll be right back.
Yeah. well, we can rank things. We can also, I think we'll do things like what is the best controller, what's just the best Mario game. There's plenty of things to do. Maybe we'll just cancel the show. Maybe we'll get tired of everyone's bullshit and we'll just be done. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm listening. He's pleading. Ooh. He's begging daddy. Oh, I bet Jeff's gonna have a stern talking to after this episode. Kids are funny because they want things, but they don't understand other people's feelings. They lack empathy. It's just about their needs. That's why you just don't have kids, guys. Be like a Mikey. Don't be like a Jeffy. Does that look fun to you? What Jeff's doing? Look what I'm doing. I got a dog. She's over there sleeping. I don't have a kid. You know what I have? I have this giant ass flute that I just bought and learned how to play because I have so much free time. This is what, see? Who needs children? Who needs generational support and a legacy? You can have a goddamn giant ass flute. I swear to God, if that's another mod jumping in here. Get out. You're not allowed to come in during the show.
Is this part of the show?
Things on their britches. What do you want to say?
No, I was about to ask you if that's the biggest flute you own.
Yes, it is. Now get out of here.
Okay. You don't read my messages?
I don't read your messages. You're messaging me during the show.
I'm back.
Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're yelling at your kid. I'm yelling at the mods. Everyone's testing us today. And I'm telling you, again, everybody thinks it's funny when Mike's mad until it goes too far. Then it gets awkward. Then everyone's Mike yelled at us.
That kid better stop capping.
Awkward.
That's right.
And it's like, it's not my fault.
She's upset that her name is on the bottom of her water. What am I?
Okay. What? Why?
Listen, Mike, if I had the answer to that question. All right, I'm back. We can go.
All right. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do when we run out of systems. Aaron Tauntis asks, should we consider the September Direct dead at this point? Who bamboozled us all into thinking it was happening? Yeah, it's definitely not happening, and it's all Jeff's fault.
Yep. Now, I'll take full responsibility, even though I never said one way or the other for sure. Yep.
Kiggy says, what is your favorite 3DS subtitle that plays upon the DS moniker? I think Kirby's Triple Deluxe is a pretty brilliant subtitle. Yeah, that's pretty good. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance was nice, but I do like all the straight up DS ones, like Dual Strike.
Yeah.
Dual Destinies from Phoenix Wright.
Demon's Sword, was that the Ninja Gaiden one? Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, so yes, I think that's right. Dawn of Sorrow. I love that everybody was just like, we're just going to make all of our subtitles
Dragon Sword.
Yeah, Dragon Sword. Okay, that's right. So yeah, man, a lot of man. Maybe Dawn of Sorrow is my favorite because you wouldn't actually think it was. It's just the sequel to Aria of Sorrow. Oh, Dawn of Sorrow. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess. Yeah, sure.
Dawn of Sorrow.
And then you actually think about, they're doing a DS thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Great, fun stuff. Pinball Jr. says, do you think we'll ever see the Yakuza games on Switch? Are they not on Switch? I guess not. I mean, why? I don't see why not. Surely they can get some of those on there.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably like a certain level of those that'd be pretty easy to port. They're probably just like
7, but
right, 7, right. But like everything up until then, they could probably squeeze onto the Switch one way or the other. But yeah, but they probably don't want to do it because it's like, well, then what about the future Yakuza games? We do want to sell those on in places where that audience exists, and are we going to stream those from the cloud? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I will say if we get a Switch Pro and it can run like slightly newer games, I feel like Yakuza 7 is something they'll want to get on there pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Although this is from the company that hasn't ported like Persona 3 or Persona 4 over to the Switch yet, so who knows?
Right, exactly.
Yami Seth says, how high is your direct hype level after the breaking news? Pretty high. I'm getting my hopes up.
Same. You know, I expect it to be pretty similar in stature to that PlayStation showcase. Where, you know, Sony has a little bit of an advantage there because they didn't do an E3 show. That was pretty much their E3 show. So they had a little bit left over than what Nintendo would have. But I still am like 40 minutes You know, we know some of that's going to be that Smash Brothers character. We know probably going to be Xenoblade. What else can you fit in there? There's a lot of stuff that they could tell us about that, you know, we haven't heard about before. I know they still need to deliver on Metroid and Zelda before they can really start making huge future announcements. But still, I'm at a point where I'm like, I want to hear what the Mario team is doing. And if that game is anywhere near being ready, tell us about it. I want to see it.
Yeah. Nintendo Bro asks, how many DS's variants have you owned, and which was your favorite? Man, I try to think about this. I know I had at least a Fat, a Light, and a DSi, but for some reason, like, I'm having a hard time like remembering if I got any. I feel like I never got Fun Colors because I just got them when they launched, and I'm not sure if I got any of the special editions. I know my brother got like the fancy Zelda ones that came out at some point, but I don't think I had like any super fun DS's or even memorable colors. Like with my Game Boy like Color, I remember very specifically, like, oh yeah, I had the lime green one. The DS's, I'm having a much harder time. I feel like they were just gray. I feel like I had gray and white DS's, maybe a black one. Yeah, like the DSi was black when it launched, right? So I think I just had a black one. How about you, Jeff?
I had a Fat, a DS Lite, a couple DS Lites. I'm trying to remember. Was there a DS? There was a DS XL or a DSi XL?
I think it was DSi XL. Was the DSi even not? Yeah, man, this is weird that there were so many. I actually can't quite remember.
Yeah, I must have had a DSi XL, but I just really have a hard time remembering playing a lot of stuff on DSi.
Yeah.
But then I had a ton of the 3DS ones. I had less money at that time during the DS time, so it's like I didn't get every upgrade, even though I wanted them. But I played a ton of DS, and I got my wife a DS Lite as well, and that's the one we actually still have that we use a lot. So
yeah,
a little cool pink one.
Right, because there's a progression of these things that I even kind of associate with the 3DS. I still just I have a 3D SXL Plus or whatever, and it's the Majora's Mask one. Like, that's what I know. That's what I think of when you say these things. Like, that's the one still ready to go. Kanaka asks me, are you reviewing Diablo 2 Resurrected for Switch, or can we expect a review about this in the near future? I don't think I could say, but I mean, I plan on covering Diablo 2. Sure. I had that interview go up a bit ago. I mean, look, it is stressful covering these games right now because it's like, there's so much going on, and it's obvious. It's this awkward thing. It's like it still makes sense to cover these games. There's still people working these games who are more victims than anything else. But then, maybe that person you're interviewing is also part of the problem. But it's also a weird thing to just think that way. And what are you going to be like? Like, you're going to ask the person, like, hey, you haven't sexually harassed anybody, have you? Like those other assholes. So it's just
and then what do you expect them to say? Yes, it is the Vicarious Visions team for the most part.
That does help. And like the two people I interviewed, like they're Vicarious Visions, really. That's where they came from. They've been at Blizzard for less than a year.
They worked on Tony Hawk and stuff like that, and it's like we're probably going to treat this game pretty similar to how we treated Tony Hawk, but with definitely mentioning more Blizzard stuff and what's going on there.
When I interviewed them, I did specifically ask, how's the Switch version running? Because like Diablo 3 on Switch was fantastic, but we're getting so many sort of subpar Switch ports lately that it's a point of worry. And I think their words were, I think it runs like butter. So
cool.
Yeah, optimistic.
That's exciting.
There.
Yeah.
Nintendo Bro asks me, did you text Jeff to tell him you're going to be late, or does he get to find out the hard way like you did for GamesBeat Decides? I wasn't even late. I barely made it, but I messaged him on our Slack that I'm sure he didn't read.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed it.
Yeah, great. Aaron Taunta says, any last-minute Smash predictions? I tell you what, everyone in our chat thinks it's going to be the Yakuza guy. I don't know. It's so hard to predict this anymore because it literally can be anybody.
I feel like the popular choice going into these hasn't been right for quite some time, right?
I feel like there's something like the Minecraft Steve thing was always being brought up, and that eventually actually
fair enough.
Like Banjo-Kazooie was one people wanted for a while, and then that finally happened. But I don't. So the last round of these things, we thought, well, they have to end with a big one, and then it was the Byleth from Fire Emblem, which was
exactly
hilarious.
Right. So why would we get our hopes up for something really big here? But so what are you thinking? What are you hoping? I guess you already got everything you wanted, so at this point it's just whatever.
I mean, the big one that like I haven't got yet, like it's basically Gino from Mario RPG,
Right.
and I'm not expecting that for this game. Like at that point, it's like when they do next Smash Brothers, maybe they revisit that idea.
Right. They made him
and-
a Mii fighter, so like that's definitely not gonna
yeah,
happen.
and like Waluigi is still like a fun dream,
man.
but he's an assist trophy right now, and that's mostly just seems to disqualify characters. It's like same thing with like Shovel Knight. Even though I want that. Someone in chat just said Zagreus would be pretty good.
Yeah, Zagreus, like Nintendo really likes Hades. Like they made a lot of money from Hades, it seems like. So, yeah, but
although so far they've I don't want to say they've done indies dirty, but they get a lot of they get a lot of bronze medals. It's here's a Sans character costume,
Mii fighter,
and here's Shovel Knight is again an assist trophy. Here's a Shantae Mii costume. I wish like one of those would actually just be in the game. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next question here from Kanaka. With the Advanced Collection, is there hope for a Castlevania DS collection now coming to? Yeah, I mean, if
there's hope.
There's hope. If this sells well, why not? And I absolutely hope so, because those are just also 3 very good games.
Yep. I mean, the reason would be it might be too much work for Konami. Getting DS games to work on one screen. It might be like, we're not going to do that.
No. Capcom figured it out pretty well with the Mega Man ZX games. They got that working really well. So maybe they can look to that a bit. I kind of forget just how involved some of that touchscreen stuff was. I remember Dawn of Sorrow was a bit like they threw a decent amount of that stuff in there because it was an earlier DS game. Like you had to draw the seals on the bosses after you beat them up, and I think you had some abilities where you were tapping the screen. I can't quite remember, but that sounds right. So that might be annoying. That might be stuff they have to full on rework or just get rid of. Which again sounds like work. So who knows if they want to bother. Jeff, that is it for those questions. Do you want to do some super chats? Do you want to talk about the DS? What's going on?
I want to do some super chats, and I'm gonna get those up right now, and then I'm gonna look at them, and I'm gonna be able to read them. Here they are. Okay, all right, we're good.
I'll have to fill some time because somebody just reminded me in chat that we don't have Symphony of Night and Rondo of Blood on Switch yet, so that needs to happen too.
That would be great. That would be awesome if we get those.
Although everyone's calling you're calling it Dracula X. You call it Dracula X instead of Rondo of Blood. What, did you actually own that game on the Super Nintendo? Forever Lovebick? Forever Lovebick. That's his name, I've decided.
All right. I'm sorry I had to do this, but they're freaking out again, so I have to go deal with them. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Man. We're gonna have to. I was just going to say we have to pool money to get Jeff a babysitter. You guys already do send him money. Is it rude of me to ask him why he doesn't get a babysitter? Is that like a person? Is that me overstepping my boundaries? Is that a rude question? I don't know how people feel with their kids. Because you ask people about kids, especially when you're like me and you're just some schlub who doesn't have kids and have no idea how it works, and you're just like, well, why don't you just do this? Yeah, that'll annoy people very fastly. Very fastly. That's a good word. That is a good real word. Fastly, not publicly. I don't think it'd be rude. Someone else ask him. Someone else send him the super chat. Ask him. I don't want to ask him. He doesn't live in the middle. No, he lives in. He lives in Colorado. It's cold, but I think there's still people still exist there. Mike, what's your game of the year so far? I was thinking about this. Probably still Hitman 3. Ratchet's real close. I might be using Endwalker as an excuse here to make it Final Fantasy 14. If that expansion comes out and it's very good, like everything else on Final Fantasy 14 has basically been, we'll be fine. Doesn't he edit this show? Well, yeah, I don't know how he edits the show. I imagine he just like looks at the screen, and whenever he sees the image, it's just me talking and not him. I don't think he listens to what I'm saying. I bet he just like, all right, cut that out. Babysitters would be super expensive. I mean, kid, but everything with kids is expensive, is my understanding. They still do it. They still buy them food and send them to school, even though that sounds like Psychonauts 2 is not my game. I like Psychonauts 2. I'm a little surprised that people like it. This sounds weird. I guess I'm not surprised, but more people seem to like it a bit more than I do, right? Like I was a 4 out of 5 with it, and I think that's right. I thought it was very good. I liked it, but it's not something that would be in my top 5. Like maybe it'll be my lower end. Christian, yeah, I saw the job action show for Final Fantasy 14. I watched that. I watched a lot of the analysis stuff. I'm quite excited for more Final Fantasy 14 stuff. I think I'm going to be learning more about that soon. No idea. I don't think. Yeah, people thinking they're going to get Sora in Smash Bros. I don't think that's going to happen. But who knows? We've gotten weird characters we didn't think we would get before. Psychonauts 2 is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I do. Again, I liked it. I liked it. I guess I just don't quite get like. I didn't get the transcending moment, right? Like with the game of the year, there's something sort of special, I suppose. I didn't quite get that with Psychonauts 2. I just didn't quite get pushed to that level with it. I liked it a lot, especially like I was a big LucasArts adventure game fan in the '90s, and the moments where it sort of brings me back to that are always fantastic with the dials. I will say, like, I guess part of it is I see some people going on like, oh, the level design is fantastic, and that's actually maybe one of my problems. I don't think the level design is that, like, the levels aesthetics are great, but the actual design, I don't know. Jeff, did you turn Netflix on for them? Because frames dropped.
Oh, great. Of course. God damn it. All right, hang on. Let me see if I can adjust that, because I'm going to have to leave this on.
Fair enough. I remember when everyone thought I was crazy for suggesting that you turning Netflix on for them is what caused frames to drop.
Yep, and you were right. That's definitely what happened. I think it's okay now. We're okay.
Yeah, I think it's settled down.
Okay, what are you talking about? What are you complaining about? What has bad level
Nothing.
design?
I wasn't saying anything about your personal life.
Oh, okay. All right. My personal life has great level design.
I know how much people who have kids love hearing thoughts from people who don't.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it's a thing. I don't know. She's usually okay, but she's having a rough day, and who knows why. All right. I have the super chats if you're ready, Mike.
Oh, Mikey, ready.
All right, let's see. Let's start here. This is from Major Blazer. Hi, guys. Favorite... oh, wait. This is a DS game. Wow, okay. I'll hold that until we get to the DS
Why
game.
are you off your game for some reason?
No particular reason. I'm just bad at podcasting. David Cast JRPGs. Direct hype. I can never watch live, but today works. Just wanted to say thanks for the awesome content. Big fan.
Delay.
Yes, it's all gone. It's all
drop.
gone. It's broken. All right, hang on. I'm gonna fix this. God damn it! Nothing can work today. All right. It's like I'm getting 0 kilobits per second. I'm getting 0. This is insane. All right, just hang on.
Go turn off the Netflix. They'll like that.
Yeah, she'll love that. How can it be? I wish I could like have like a low bit rate option on there, but I don't know why. Okay, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. Just hang on. I know what to do. Let's see here.
Just explain to your kids about bit rates and kilobytes and why they can't watch Netflix. They'll understand. Excited about that.
Can you sit here? Watch the show here. Okay. Does it seem better now? I think we're better. I think I fixed it. Okay. All right, let's take that from the top then. All right, super chats from David Cast JRPGs, direct hype. I can never watch live, but today works. Just wanted to say thanks for the awesome content. Big fan of both podcasts. Keep it up.
We're giving some awesome content today.
Yeah, awesome content is the way I would describe what is happening, what is going on, what you get to watch here. All right, Euro Delgado. Mike, thoughts in Rob Zombie's Monsters movie? Thoughts on Rob Zombie's Monsters movie?
What, like the Monsters?
The Monsters.
Like the sitcom? I like the Monsters. He made a Monsters movie? He's making one?
I think he's making one.
I mean, I hope it's good. I like the Monsters. Look, I didn't like that weird song you guys sent me. I don't know if that
Dracula is a classic. It's not a weird song.
Yeah, whatever. But just because that song is shit doesn't mean that his monster movie is gonna be bad. I mean, it'll probably be bad because most comedies are bad these days. Like that'll probably be an issue. Gosh, I don't know. Those new Addams Family movies sure do look weird. So I guess I get sort of pessimistic about these things. We'll see.
Let's see. Turbo Sean sends in a super chat that says, "Cruising, come on, go cruising. Let's go cruising." I can't actually remember the tune. I'm sorry, Mike.
Jeff, okay, Jeff, I'm liking this game. I don't think I like that song. I think that song's kind of a mess.
Okay,
I think that's why you like it, but that song's a mess.
I think that song is also a mess, and it's incredible. It's an incredible mess. It's
like somebody heard the Daytona USA soundtrack and wanted to do something like that, but did not have the talent to pull it off.
And what's the issue there? I don't see any problems there. Love it.
If you like it, ironically, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure.
I'm coming around to where I'm enjoying it legitimately, but it's definitely started ironically. Yes, the way my kids like it now, it's like, okay, this is fun.
Okay, just making sure.
It's like, it's a bad video game song, but I was like, video game track of the year, and you tweeted me some like, I don't know. Now I get it. You're a piece of shit. That's what's happening.
Oh, dang, man. Well, hey, look, man. I know you're having a rough day. Don't take it out on me.
I'm taking it out on you. You're in front of me. Yeah,
all right.
We'll get him later. The T-Prens. Do you think we will see anything Donkey Kong related? Mike's not a believer.
In my heart, I say no. I never really believed those Donkey Kong rumors. Well, the problem with those Donkey Kong rumors back when they happened like a year ago was the one guy was like, it's going to be a 2D game. And then the other guy was like, it's going to be a 3D game. So already pretty suspect there. I don't understand why they would do that. I don't know why you'd have the Mario team make a 2D Donkey Kong game now, because you can just have Retro do that whenever. And even if they're busy now, like there's no big rush on that. It'll be fine. Mario Odyssey sold like crazy. Clearly, Mario Odyssey 2 would just also sell very well. So just make that.
Yeah, I would say we probably won't see this game, even if it does exist at this showcase. But I don't know. I would think that I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're working on, though. But I would lean towards us not getting anything, and that'd be something we first hear about next year. Uriel Delgado, hoping for full screen remasters of GBA games. I mean, yeah, I think that seems pretty likely in terms of like stuff like the Castlevania Advanced Collection, where they're going to remaster them to take advantage of the full screen. That'd be fantastic, actually. Now that I think about it,
I hope they're not just stretching an aspect ratio, giving us
my
black
God,
bars or something.
They would totally stretch it. It's kind of me. Black bars seem pretty likely, though. I feel like
I think we're getting some black bars.
Yeah, it would be. But man, those games would be fantastic if they just kind of remastered them for the screen and kept everything else the same. That would be fine.
All right, good news. My dad's surgery went well, everybody. He's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
You didn't kill your dad with your bad jokes.
Dad with my bad joke. That's a star.
Yeah.
The day we'll put it up on the board.
Right, something's going right. From Jared Helder, could Cruisin' Blast beat Forza for racing game of the year?
No, maybe like our racing game of the year,
maybe.
but not the Game Award. It better be nominated. Like what else is there?
Right.
Anyways, so.
It's going to get nominated. We're going to see to it. We're going to see to it that it gets nominated.
Yeah, it'll have its little spotlight. It'll be good.
Let's see, from Nick Turbo, Battle Network or Legends Collection first? I think he's referring to Mega Man, Mike.
I think probably Legends, actually.
Yes, I think so too.
Those are just big games, Battle Network, right? They're just big, long games. It's kind of weird. We see people don't like to bundle JRPGs together very often. We had that Grandia collection, and that was 2 games, but there are like 6 of these, and then some of them had like the Pokemon thing with like a red or blue version going on. So it's a little messy there.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. I mean, Battle Network. I wonder if that would even come back in any form, just because of it would be.
Yeah. Whereas Legends, you could do Legends 1, 2, and Misadventures of Tron Bonne relatively easily, and I think
and Tron Bonne is something that's like, hey, it's pretty hard to get, so that would make it. Legends is just primed for a collection. Mm-hmm. Isaac Spencer, thanks for brightening my day, Mike and Jeff. Thank you, Isaac Spencer.
Thank you for brightening our day.
Yeah, absolutely. From Nick Turbo, he doesn't actually apologize here, but he does say, "Love you, Mikey." Ooh.
We're gonna have a serious talk. That's all I'm saying. We're gonna make a talk.
Do you need me to turn on my dad voice for him?
Yes, you have to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Space Dovahkiin. Doesn't Nintendo have a company clause that prohibits any game content tied to the crime organization? Okay, so
like they don't do any mob stuff.
yeah, they don't like you. Like, there's a clause in like their contract to say you can't have any involvement with the Yakuza, but I think that means the real Yakuza. Like, I think it means like in Japan they're worried about the actual Yakuza,
Yes, which is actually a thing, I guess.
yeah, like them like funding your game or whatever. I think for the most part they don't care if your game has depictions.
They didn't give Blastoise a mafia suit in Pokemon Unite?
A mafia suit. Mike, you're Italian. It's just a suit.
Nah, it was a mafia suit. That's why I know it's a mafia suit.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. Yeah.
We have a mafia in Youngstown. I know what they look like.
We got the made man here. All right. From Scissor85. Jeff, while you were gone, Mike asked why you were such a cheap ass that you can't get a babysitter. Love you, dude.
That's not how I put it.
Listen, I've considered it. We were gonna do it, and then the pandemic started, and then now we're like scared of having people in the house. But yeah, it definitely is gonna happen soon. That's with this behavior. Yeah, it's gonna happen soon. All right, that does it for the super chats.
I told the chat I'm afraid to ask him this question because I don't know if it's a personal thing, me overstepping bounds to ask him. So someone has to send a super chat.
Yeah,
so thank you.
We were literally like, I was like, okay, work's getting pretty hectic again. Let's do a babysitter, and then pandemic started. So, and then my wife's like, hey, let's not do that. So, okay.
Well, why don't you want to bring strangers into the house with their germs?
Yeah.
Jeff, I'm very excited because we're going to talk about the Nintendo DS, one of my favorite consoles. Would you like to repeat the slander you said before we started the show against this machine?
Listen, so this is not slander. This is just I think this is an accurate estimation of what the console is. The DS doesn't have as many all-time number one incredible bangers as the Game Boy Advance, but if you look just a little bit closer, there is so much awesome and cool and interesting stuff. Like the Mario games and the Zelda games on the DS are not great.
So I kind of agree with your assessment here in that the first party stuff from Nintendo, a lot of it misses, and I agree.
Yes.
But that weird third party stuff is so good.
It's very good here,
and I like a lot of it more than even like some of the best Game Boy Advance stuff. Like a lot of that stuff just hits me for some reason.
Well, what's your favorite DS game?
Yeah, so man, my number one is actually still relatively easy. It's Elite Beat Agents.
Okay.
God,
I
used to love rhythm games kind of before they became a bit too like tied to real instruments and too tied to like real music, right? So like this has the licensed music, but it's more of that Guitar Hero 1 thing where it's just covers of them. And some of the covers are so good. The Elite Beat Agents version of Jumping Jack Flash is just straight up better than the Rolling Stones version. It is. Like, sorry, Mick Jagger. Like, Nintendo outdid you. And that
you're like, oh, Jeff, say your blasphemy. And then you're like,
I'm like, Rolling Stones.
You're like, this DS cover coming out these titty ass speakers is better than the Rolling Stones. And you know what? You're right. Like, you're right. It's so good.
That Jumping Jack Flash, which is the final level in Elite Beat Agents, that is maybe the greatest final level in any video game ever.
Yes,
it is just good. It's the most hype, fantastic thing. Like, first off, you don't even think it's the last level. You think the one before it was, and then that has like a bad ending, and then it comes back, and all the characters from all the other stories are there cheering on, kind of like just going nuts. And it's this Jumping Jack Flash that's twice as fast as the original. Like the original is kind of like this slow like jam thing. This version's like an anthem, man. It is just. It hits me. That was the most exciting time working on it. And it was hard. So like I had to do it a bunch of times. And when I finally got to the end, and like at the end, you're tapping like crazy and you're so nervous because you're playing on the hard mode. And you're like, if I just miss the one thing, it's all done. I got to start again. And like you're sweating and the music's building up and all the fucking characters are just dancing and cheering on the bottom. That game, it just hits, man. Fantastic. I still pop it in every once in a while and go back and play through some of my favorite levels. And there are so many good levels. The David Bowie song.
Yes.
Canned Heat. Canned Heat is so good. Fantastic. Even their version of the Jackson 5 ABC. That is fantastic. Highway Star. just an incredible selection. Even like they have Skater Boy. I'm like, why is that good? Material Girl. And then, of course, the out of nowhere, incredibly touching thing with the girl and her dead dad. You're the meaning in my life. Like, what? It's so,
You're the inspiration.
I'll never forget all the intros to levels. Like, you have Commander Khan, like agents go. He's that ridiculous animation. He's like watching like on his TV screen. And that one, when it ends, it's just like that picture of his back, like solemnly looking at the TV screens. I'm like, oh, this shit's happening. This looks for real. Oh my God, Elite Beat Agents is just fantastic. I'm a little sad I never got a sequel, but it doesn't need one. I need to play those two Japanese games. Yeah, I need to play them at some point. Like once I get the Steam Deck, something I can,
there you go.
You get those things on, because I never pirated anything on my DS. I had no idea how that works. But man,
pretty easy.
Or I guess you actually could just buy those carts, and maybe I should have done that at some point.
You could just you have like a tablet somewhere, right? Just play that, because those games are all touchscreens. So just use like a tablet. That's what I've been doing.
Steam Deck's gonna be great with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Jeff, what's your answer?
My answer was Elite Beat Agents. You
can't have the same one as me.
No, I was going back and forth between a lot of them, and Elite Beat Agents was probably going to be the one I picked. But since you did such a good job covering it, I'm like, all right, I'll pick one of these other ones. And I can't believe, actually, the right answer, of course, is Nintendogs. No, okay. It's actually,
that did cross my mind.
It's actually not. It's a good game. It's actually like a really fun game. It's a very emblematic of what the DS was good at, which is like these quirky offshoots that doesn't have like traditional gameplay. It's like these weird interactive toys, but it's very good at what it does.
It's also the most like Wii era style game for the DS.
Yes. Yes, it really was. Yeah, it's like it was definitely inspired by what was happening on the Wii, and they're like, "Hey, we need to treat the DS the same way," and it worked.
Although actually, this might have been before the Wii. I can't remember now.
It's
around
still,
that same time.
It's still like that. What do they call it? Brain training
Touch
was in the
generation,
same. Touch generation. Yeah, exactly that sort of stuff. So, let me look at my list here. I think I want to say Tony Hawk's American Skateland.
Yeah.
I love that game. I played that game so much. It was like the first real great portable Tony Hawk. At least all of the ones before were great, but this is like the full Tony Hawk experience with like the right controls and everything. But I think my answer here is going to be Retro Game Challenge, which is
I haven't played that one. Yeah.
So Retro Game Challenge is. If anyone's watched the Japanese show, what's the maybe chat's gonna have to help me, because I actually am like
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
No, the Most Extreme Elimination Challenge is like the weird like Takeshi's Castle. This is the one where that old guy goes back, has to play retro games, and so this game kind of like takes that concept and like does it to the extreme, where you go back in time as a kid and have to play these games, and you're there with that character when he's young, and you have to play through the games. And it's named after the show in Japan, but when they ported it to North America and to the West, they actually adapted it, and it was one of the first things that 8-4 did, and 8-4 is like former EGM people. So the game has a lot of allusions to video game magazines, where there's this character name who writes the magazine about the games that are coming out called Dan Sock, and that's it's related to Dan Shu, obviously, who's someone we used to work with. But the game is you sit on the couch, you play games, and like they are classic retro games, and you start out with like a little shooter, and then you have to beat that and get to like a certain score, and then you wait a few months, and then the next game comes out, and you're like reading magazines like what's coming next, and the next game is like a 2D side-scrolling action game, and then the next one is like kind of goes back, it's a sequel to that first shooter, but it's more complicated this time. And then eventually you go through this progression until you get to the end, where there's like almost a full-fledged Dragon Quest style RPG in the game, and it's just this cool little time capsule sort of a way of going back and exploring what it was like to game in that time. And it's definitely a fictionalized version of it, but it does a good job of capturing that magic. And it's also like weird and quirky in the way a lot of DS games were, and it really works for me. But yeah, Retro Game Challenge.
Yeah, man, I gotta get to that one.
Yeah, it's good.
Somehow completely missed that. All right, we got a lot of answers from our community here. If you want to tell us your favorite DS game, or you still want to ask us a question or whatever, just send us a super chat and we will read it on the air. Nick Turbo says, I love the Nintendo DS. It was my first game system that was not a hand-me-down. My favorite game on the DS is Mario Party DS. This was the original devs' last Mario Party game and one of their best. I didn't play this one. Did you, Jeff?
Which one is this? I'm sorry, I was like trying to get the poll set up for GBA
Yeah,
versus
Mario
DS.
Party DS. So
I did not play it. No.
I never played any of the portable Mario Party games. I think I was
Yeah, me
always
neither.
skeptical of them for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a party for one is what it seems like. So it's like, yeah, it's weird.
Turbo Sean says, my favorite DS game is Elite Beat Agents. Released just before the plastic instrument craze started up, EBA has something Guitar Hero and Rock Band lack: a ton of personality. Swapping between tapping notes to the beat on the bottom screen and watching anime-style cutscenes influenced by your performance on the top screen makes it one of the most unique rhythm games of all time. It all feels very intuitive, and you get invested in the stories that play out. I'll never forget the taxi driver getting a woman in labor to the hospital to the sounds of Skater Boy, or saving the world while jamming out to a great cover of Jumpin' Jack Flash. No spoilers to those who haven't played it, but I still tear up every time I play the Christmas level. I think I spoiled that one. It's a shame the series will probably never come back due to its reliance on dual screens and its stylus. It would make a perfect mobile game, though. Vertical orientation, all touch controls, and could be monetized to hell with DLC songs. Yeah, I just don't think you can recapture again. Even once you start doing DLC, like with Rock Band Guitar Hero, right? I almost lost interest as soon as the DLC became super prevalent, and I was getting all these songs that I thought I wanted. Like it was like, oh, what's going to be added to Guitar Hero 2? Oh, this song, that's great. And it's just like, here's every Iron Maiden song, and all of a sudden I didn't care anymore. It just wasn't the same.
Yeah, and it also feels like they're trying to chase what they sort of stumbled into with, or that's what it would feel like with the Elite Beat Agents. Like they stumbled into these incredible covers that you like love because you get so you build such a relationship with them by doing the gameplay. When you start like trying to like recapture that magic, you end up losing some of that magic. So I'm glad like Elite Beat Agents exists as like this perfect little thing that we can go back to whenever we want.
You know, Christian just listed a bunch of them here, and I don't want to just like kind of
steal other people's thunder in case they're listed again.
But I will say, I will bring up Final Fantasy Tactics A2 as one they seemed really enthusiastic about. And I didn't play this one. I liked the first Tactics.
Me too.
For some reason, I didn't play A2. Did you?
I played a little bit of A2, but I didn't play as much. I guess I must have just been doing a different job at that time. Didn't have enough time because I remember like playing a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance when I was working at FedEx and like having a break time. I'd play a lot of that game and I'd play it in the car driving home. Don't do that, but I did that, and then Final Fantasy Tactics A2 came out. I was very excited, but I just never gave it the same time. And it's one I like want to go back to and actually try for real.
Jayton says one of my favorite DS games was Brain Age. Had some fun memories of that. Man, remember that was another one of those things that was like a thing. It was a bit of a fad for a moment.
Yeah, it was a fad. Exactly. It was like it wasn't
national coverage.
Yes, exactly. It's like and it was all based on like neuroscience and stuff like that. I think a lot of that stuff actually hasn't panned out, but it was still like that moment. It was like a big thing.
It was also fun being like, oh, you can hold the DS like this and play games like this. I suppose that the book kind of holding was always neat. Rich says Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars was surprisingly great. That was a good game.
Up there, it was. I was considering it among my games. I have like a list of games which I'll read at the end once we get through everyone else's. But that was on there as well. It could easily be my number one. What's good about it is it's better than any other Grand Theft Auto game, and the reason is. The reason is because it's so focused on like just solid gameplay. Like you're running around doing the typical GTA stuff, just doing crimes or whatever. But then it has like this really smart drugs. It was like the TI-83 game, Drug Wars. They just made a GTA version of that, and it works so cool to go buy and sell drugs at like low and high prices. It was almost like Sid Meier's Pirates being turned into a GTA game. Like it's such an obvious good idea, and this is the only one they've really ever done like that. And they should go back and make another one exactly like this, or someone else should steal this.
I bet a lot of our younger listeners have a lot of questions about the TI-83 game Drug
Mike,
Wars.
guess what? They have a corner on that market, and so to this day in school, you still have to get a TI-83 or like a TI-83 Plus or whatever. And they haven't had to update it. They have like they just have a complete corner on that market.
Maybe
so
they know exactly what you're talking about.
It still costs $100 too, so it's like it hasn't gone down in price.
They still play Phoenix 2, the shmup. That was great. I loved that one.
So I didn't have Phoenix. I think that's got to be like. It's going to be different, like school by school. I think Drug Wars was everywhere, though.
Drug Wars was my one friend actually could make some games. We were all very impressed with it. Drug Wars. There was Mario that basically just played like Mario Land, and people made their own levels. It was good stuff. Man, you know what? I remember though that Chinatown Wars like was surprisingly didn't sell well. I think at that point people just were like so confused about Grand Theft Auto on DS. It's hard to imagine. I feel like if they did something similar now, like a Grand Theft Auto game exclusive to the Switch, it would obviously sell ridiculously well. But yeah, DS, one of the best-selling consoles ever, a Grand Theft Auto exclusive game that everybody said was really good, somehow did not sell well. So
Yep.
that's a bit of a head
They
scratcher.
did port that to PSP or Vita. What was it?
I thought was it mobile? They did port to something. You're
They
right.
ported
now
it
I
to a
can't
single screen thing, so they could like port it again. Is basically my point, to something else that has a single screen. So I would like to see that.
Yeah, Canuble says Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold. The game is a 10 out of 10 remake with all of its flaws, and the Pokewalker is awesome. I think without the flaws. And Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky and Super Mario 64 DS. Super Mario 64 DS was neat as a launch game, but it was always a little rough, like playing Mario 64 without an analog stick. It was cool that you could play as like Wario and Yoshi and Luigi. Like that was neat. And again, having Mario 64 portable was awesome, but it also kind of immediately made clear, I wish there was some kind of an analog control input thing here.
Yeah, Nintendo
using
realized that too. Like they're like, okay,
Yeah.
for the next thing, we got to figure out some sort of analog control.
because they had that weird thumb thing.
Yes,
it's like just
No,
works,
you can't
this
just like
doesn't work.
explain what it was, because like you could
Yes.
control with the D-pad, but if you wanted analog control, you had to use like a stylus on the screen, and it would give you like but basically what we know now as like a touchscreen analog control, where like
Right.
wherever you put your thumb, it's going to be there. But the DS screen didn't work great with fingers because it was resistive and not capacitive touchscreen, which I guess doesn't matter. But the point is, it's like you could use a stylus that you hold, or you could attach this thing that came with the game or the system, which was like a thumb strap, and it had like a little stylus nub, and you would use that on the screen. It was like a weird sex contraption is what it felt like.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
It was not comfortable, and it didn't work very well.
The nub strap. Yeah.
Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold are still perfect. Like that's if I had to like play a Pokemon game right now, that would probably be the ones I go to. Because like they modernized it enough to the point where nothing really needs to be done anymore to it, like now, to make it better. And it's sort of before the Pokemon games got bogged down by too much bullshit. It's pretty pure, just fantastic Pokemon stuff there. Giselle says Advance Wars Dual Strike is a game I never expected to love as much as I do. You're an Advance Wars fan, Jeff. What do you think about Dual Strike?
I love Dual Strike. It's very good. I think it was when they first started kind of like trying to reestablish what the franchise like looked like to a certain extent. It still like was one of those Game Boy Advance games. Like it was still in that lineage. It wasn't quite what they did eventually, where like, hey, we're gonna throw all those characters away and go Grim, which actually I think now in hindsight that Grim one is actually really good too. But Dual Strike was very solid. The big thing there was the online play. Being able to play with friends online was very good. I know that's something, you know, Dan Shui came up already. Dan Shui was very into that. I think I only played him once, but he was very good. But like being able to play with friends online was a great idea for that game.
Mm-hmm. Kanaka says the Castlevania ones, Dawn of Sorrow is fantastic. Also, Mario 64 DS remake is top notch. Chinatown Wars and Elite Beat Agents were already mentioned, but still must play today. I tell you what, out of like the 6 of the kind of portable Metroidvanias, Dawn of Sorrow was actually the one I liked the most at the time. I thought that was great.
Dawn of Sorrow was still. I think that all of those Castlevania games are good, and really it just comes down to taste at a certain point.
I think the only thing I disliked was that was when they switched over from that kind of cool gothic art style for the character portraits to just the very bland, like anime style things. Like that was a letdown. Even the cover art, right? Like it looks bad, but whatever. Pinball Jr. says Pokemon Soul Silver is my favorite game ever made. So of course that's my pick. Makes sense. Honorable mention to Kirby Squeak Squad. Yeah, Kirby Squeak Squad was a lot of fun. It was so there was a lot of like experimental Kirby games in this era, but the Squeak Squad was just a straight up 2D platformer in the normal Kirby style, and it was a lot of fun. It really worked well for me. Wildfire Alex says my favorite Nintendo DS game of all time is probably an unpopular opinion because of its SNES counterpart, but it's Chrono Trigger. You have the already outstanding JRPG that's considered one of the greatest games of all time. Then you pack in a good amount of extra content, and you've got a million reasons to revisit this all-time classic. It's an essential RPG for any gamer, and it's an essential title to play in general, young and old. I have never spent so many hours on any other DS title, and I am very proud to own it to this day. My other honorable mentions are Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and The World Ends With You. Hey, look, I picked Final Fantasy VI Advance for my favorite Game Boy Advance game, so that's totally acceptable.
Yeah, that Chrono Trigger game is widely considered the best version of that game. So yeah, I get it.
Sir Drew says my favorite DS game would have to be Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. I think it may have been my first Metroidvania period, which led me to getting Dracula X Chronicles on PSP and Symphony of the Night there. This game knows every aspect of what I've come to love most about that genre. The exploration is so satisfying, and the side quests have you constantly checking for secrets. The Mario 64 style paintings as level portraits mechanic is fun and engaging, and helps take the locations expected from these kind of games to new heights with such gems as haunted circuses and gothic cathedrals attached to demonic meat and pastry markets. Makes the inverted castle mechanic that much more satisfying as well, with the palette swaps and inversion/retheming of the levels themselves. It may not have the beloved soul collecting mechanic of the Of Sorrow games in this era, but the two playable character mechanic added enough novel gameplay concepts to make this one truly stand out to me, still to this day.
Another good game. Absolutely.
Man, I really want to replay Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesia, to be honest.
Yes.
I mean, I want to play all 6 of those, but
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I am too. Order of Ecclesia was a little bit different, and then yet also still very good. But yeah, Portrait of Ruin. Yeah, they were all standout.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because at that time it was like we were all like it was kind of like that Mega Man thing, right? Like there were 6 Mega Man games on the NES, and people and I remember it's like, oh, another one of these Metroid games, and now like we're so starved, we're like, please, could we go back?
Just give us that again. Yeah,
it was fantastic because they were all good. Jimmy DeBras says, I need to double down on the Pokemon Soul Silver love. It was a perfect remake at the perfect time for the best generation of the games. It fixed a lot of the issues or quality of life issues you didn't realize were there in the original, and I think it serves as a high point for the series. Now, he did also give an honorable mention to Fire Emblem Awakening, then everyone had to yell at him and remind him that that was a 3DS game, but we'll get to that one soon, don't worry. Acquired at Starbucks, PJM says Soul Silver, Heart Gold are the best DS games. Man, I tell you what, we always get a lot of Pokemon love here, but Heart Gold and Soul Silver definitely getting some.
Yes.
But Yami Seth here comes in with a rescue to bring up maybe my last Pokemon game that I really loved. He says, I put Pokemon Black and White on the top of the DS games. We're playing them right now, and they are really great. The most underrated and maybe best Pokemon games in the main series. Love the graphics, the new ideas, and the story so much, and they're the most difficult games in the franchise. Honorable mentions goes to Chinatown Wars and The World Ends With You. Yeah, I thought Pokemon Black and White were fantastic. I think the series never was the same after that. Even Pokemon Black and White 2 I didn't like quite as much. I don't know why.
Yeah, I remember you being a little bit disappointed in those, but yeah, that Black and White I played and really liked those as well. That was pretty good stuff.
It seemed like they were starting to be like their story isn't anything crazy, but it was just slightly more mature. I was like, oh, is this like the direction we're going? And instead they went back like, no, we're gonna like really focus these games even more on kids than usual, which I get, and obviously that worked and made a ton of money, but it just was personally disappointing that like it wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And again, it's not all about me. I get it. But Black and White are so fantastic. They're also the last of like the pure, more sprite-based ones, and they still look really good in a way that, like, I think Black and White looks a lot better than X and Y does, for example. Napper says, favorite DS game is WarioWare Touched. The main menu that fills up with characters and toys as you make progress was a neat idea that they wish they kept doing. Honorable mention, Pack Picks. I'm not sure how it has aged, but I loved it at the time. Man, Pack Picks. That's one of those kind of weird games you almost forget.
Yes.
A big one of those for me was that, remember they made a game based off of that one Daffy Duck short with the artist drawing
yes.
on it. like that thing.
I've brought this up before, I think, and I don't know if I brought it up here, but
Duck Amuck. That's it.
Duck Amuck. Yeah, Justin McElroy tells a story about how he was playing that, and he got to a point where, because you're the artist and you draw stuff in the world, and Donald Duck interacts with it, or Daffy Duck interacts with it. Yeah, sorry, I knew you'd get mad. Daffy's like, hey, I need a horse to ride into town, and so they're like, okay, draw his horse, and of course Justin McElroy draws a penis with balls and everything, and then Daffy Duck goes, "There's my steed," and he hops on it and starts riding it around. I never not laugh. It's on YouTube somewhere. Yeah, but man, I never not laugh at that.
I remember there was one point you had to close the DS, and like they had to get special permission to like at that moment have the game still have audio playing, so it sounded like Daffy was like muffled and stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to open it again because like normally if you close it, it goes to sleep mode, and they had to like program it so for that one time the game was still running and doing stuff. Yeah, just weird stuff like that everywhere. But anyways, WarioWare Touch. You're the WarioWare guy. Does Touch rank pretty highly on the series?
Yeah, Touched is fantastic. I think. Yeah, I love Touched. I think that Twisted's probably still a little bit better. I actually stole my personal torches for the original WarioWare of like those 3 styles of like, whether you're pressing the buttons, whether you're touching, or whether you're twisting. But the best, honestly, go back and play Gold now on 3DS. It has all of those in there. That's the best way to go back and like experience those things. But Touched was fantastic. Yes.
Adge Guy says, now we both know the correct answer, and that is Elite Beat Agents. The remixed music tracks are fantastic, and I even prefer its rendition of Jumpin' Jack Flash to the original. My brother has a shockingly similar take as I do. The rhythm gameplay is superb, and the game manages to actually tell fun stories. Each episode has you rooting for the various protagonists. And the episode of The Little Girl Crispus is legitimately one of the most heartbreaking moments ever in a video game that's handled surprisingly well for a game about a bunch of singing cheerleaders in suits. That finally does the classic anime trope of bringing back all the seemingly unrelated characters for a final showdown, creating one of the most satisfying moments in all of gaming history. Honorable mention goes to Kirby Canvas Curse, an early example of what was possible on the dual display, and the best example of how to use the system's touchscreen. My dark horse favorite was the Star Wars Revenge of the Sith game. The game was a really solid Star Wars beat-em-up. It was a cross-gen release with the Game Boy Advance version, but this version had MP3 quality music as opposed to the GBA game's MIDI, and the touchscreen controls shortcuts for your power attacks, and a remarkably well-done 3D space combat missions between the 2D levels. Yeah, that Star Wars Revenge of the Sith game was really punching out of its league. I remember actually liking that one quite a bit. Canvas Curse was also fantastic. I like that a lot. And for some reason, when they made a sequel for that, for the Wii
Rainbow
U,
Curse,
it just did not hit the same way. I don't know why.
Because I think they get afraid to like make stuff complicated because it's Kirby or whatever. Canvas Curse, another one that easily could have been my number one. I love Canvas Curse. It's so good.
Yeah. And that was, I remember, so that wasn't a launch game, but it was that like very next wave. And the launch games were maybe slightly disappointing. It was a lot of mini game collections and things that were fine, but nothing crazy. I remember Canvas Curse was the first big, really like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yes.
This is really interesting. And this could only be done on the DS. This is really neat. Aaron Tonsis says, my favorite DS game is probably New Super Mario Brothers. Whatever he may think of the follow-up games, this game helped bring 2D platformers back and also had those gambling games from Super Mario 64 DS, so that's kind of a win in my book. And this was a big deal at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think I remember even at the time, and not to like, oh, Aaron Tontis is wrong, but I just remember at the time being like, this is like an 8 out of 10. Like, it was okay. But it didn't have like the level design that I remembered from other Mario games. It was very much like, oh, do you have the mini mushroom that you collected several levels ago? Because if you don't, well, you can't do this thing, and that's not good level design. So I remember it being a little bit bummed out, and it felt weird. I think of the new Super Mario Brothers games, my favorite is Wii. I know some people like Wii U, the U one, but Wii's my favorite. But this game was okay.
Maybe if we had not like Wii like the Wii blurriness, I would like it better. But yeah. But I'm Mr. I like pretty much every 3D Mario game more than the 2D one, so I don't want to get yelled at again. Schaefer says, one of my favorite weird puzzle games is Meteos. It's a match 3 game where you clear blocks by matching them, except in this game, these blocks turn into rockets and push the blocks above them upward off the screen, only to have more blocks hit them in the process and weigh them down in a way that's both very annoying and extremely cool. I'm still not quite sure what determines the power of the rockets.
That was cool.
Sometimes they'll zoom off the screen instantly. Other times it's a very slow moving thing. But it's a really cool game that's tried to do more with the match 3 formula, and it's pretty awesome. I loved Meteos, Jeff. I was all about it. Back when everybody was freaking out about Luminous, I didn't really get into Luminous, but I loved Meteos. I played a ton of Meteos.
I loved Meteos. The problem is when I loved Meteos, and then I was playing it, and then I just started scratching it back and forth, and I realized you could win by doing that, and it broke it for me. And I know that's a me problem, but like when I could do that, I'm like, I can't like sit here and try to be patient anymore, even though it is such a good concept, and the blocks trying to lift off against gravity is such a cool look and feel. It's once I realized, oh, you could just cheap your way through this, it's like, yeah, it broke for me.
Arjun says, Final Fantasy IV. Enough said. I never played that 3D version of Final Fantasy IV. Now, I've said before, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy IV fan in the world. So once I already beat it once on the Game Boy Advance, I wasn't like super interested in playing it again. Although, but people like that 3D version a lot, and it adds a lot of things. Like it updates the story, it adds voice acting. It's not just like a simple conversion. So they put a lot of effort into that one, which they don't normally do with the 16-bit era Final Fantasy games.
Yep.
Benji Bob says, because the DS has the best Pokemon lineup out of any other console. Yeah, that makes sense because it has the Diamond Pearl, Black and White 2, and the Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. Says they can't just pick one, so instead I'm going to go for the GTA game that deserves a modern remaster, Chinatown Wars. A lot of Chinatown Wars love here.
Great game.
They somehow managed to port almost all of the GTA 4 map to the DS and made it stylish with cell shading. The top-down feels natural on the DS. They actually used the touchpad nicely to do things like hot wiring a stolen car. And it was also forward-thinking, as this is the first time you truly use your phone to do something other than bowling with your cousin. It would never happen, but I would love to play a remaster on the Switch.
Damn.
Turbo Sean says, I want to give an honorable mention to the download play feature on the DS. It was a literal game changer for me growing up in a low-income neighborhood. Me and my friends would get all different games for Christmas / birthdays and be able to play stuff like Mario Kart and Mario Party off of a single cart on the school bus. Also, when we couldn't afford new games, we would go to Walmart for the download station to download demos that would stay on the system until you turned it off. I played the Ninja Gaiden's Dragon Sword demo for a solid 2 weeks straight this way. Yeah, it was a cool feature, especially back then. Especially because like we were still traumatized from link cables with the Game Boy Advance, right?
Yeah. It was like, oh yeah, this is feels a little bit like the future, and the DS was good at that stuff. And I do remember playing Mario Kart DS with a lot of people on a bus when our train broke down going to PAX. They put us on a bus, and so we all just got that out. And the rest of the way there, it was a lot of fun. Man, Penny was there. Penny knows what's what.
Yeah, apparently, Penny, I guarantee there's something there. Nintendo Bro says WarioWare Touch is the best game in the franchise, and Mario Kart DS was Nintendo's first foray into online gaming, and it was a pretty good one at that. But without a doubt, my favorite DS game is Metroid Prime Hunters. While the single-player portion of the game is underwhelming, the online multiplayer is the best of any handheld game I've ever played prior to the Switch. This was largely because of the game was developed with multiplayer as the main focus, but they sure did deliver. The action was fluid and fast-paced, the touch controls were perfect, and the map's designs were excellent. And all the weapons complement each other nicely. As a hero shooter, each character's special abilities were well thought out. Samus had guided super missiles. Triss could turn invisible when standing still while still having the sniper equipped. Spire could traverse walls and morph ball, and so on. I bought a Need DS no less than 3 times, including trading in my PSP to get a Crimson and Black DS Lite, just because I couldn't shake this game. Jeff, I wasn't a giant Metroid Prime Hunters fan. I remember it was impressive.
Yeah.
But I remember it was uncomfortable for me to control for whatever reason. I remember more than anything, you got like the demo version of this as a cart when you bought the original DS.
Right, and I played a lot of that demo version. I played the final game, and I did have fun playing it online. I think I'm surprised to learn that there were people who were super into it and were like in clans and stuff for Metroid Prime Hunters. That's weird to me, but I guess hey. Whatever, it's an online multiplayer game. People get into all kinds of stuff. I think I only played it for a little bit and then bounced off.
Low Rule Legend says Chrono Trigger on DS. It's the best way to play one of the best games of all time. Need I say more? And I say no, you do not. Anderson64 says Dawn of Sorrow is a fantastic Castlevania and probably the best game in the series. I bounced off the GBA games at first, and Dawn of Sorrows was a huge improvement over the Advanced Trilogy. A deeper cut I loved was True Swing Golf, part of that casual Touch Generations line. Great golf mechanics and a really good use of the touchscreen for lefties. More Dawn of Sorrow love here. Nice.
Yeah.
Fresh says, I did not have a DS, but I did play Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood once I got a 3DS, so it's my favorite DS game by default. Yeah, Dark Brotherhood is wrong. That's the wrong answer. I
think it's okay. So for people who don't know, Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood is the Sonic RPG, like as Mario RPG is to Mario.
But no,
and it's made by BioWare.
That's why I don't like it. So if I was thinking Mario RPG, so excited, and then BioWare was involved, I was like, this can't miss. And it's so mediocre. It is like fine.
I think it's a strong 7 out of 10. Like it's a 3 out of 5 game for sure for me.
If this isn't a 6 out of 10, then I don't know what is. I don't know.
I think that the combat works good. Like it's the timed combat for Mario RPG. It was okay. It was okay. It was fine.
It was fine. It should have been better. I had high hopes for this one. I'm like, why did they even get BioWare to do it with like the low ambition it had? Anybody could have done that.
It is weird that BioWare did that.
Yeah. Cyclin says, my favorite DS game is probably The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. As a kid, I really enjoyed the style, humor, and gameplay loop. It had some really neat ways of using the features of the DS, like that island with no map, where you had to draw the layout yourself to solve the puzzle, or closing the DS to copy something from one screen to the other. I did like that stamping feature. I actually recently replayed it, and while the dungeon designs aren't very complex or challenging, I still had a lot of fun. Honorable mention to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time. Sunk way too many hours into that, getting all legendary Pokemon. It was great. Jeff, do we have some super chat answers we want to get to?
Yeah, we do. Let me go through here and see exactly what's what. Okay, so let me see if I missed that one from earlier. That was like the first one, right? Let's see.
Yeah, there was one really early on.
No, Major Blazer. There we go. Hi guys, favorite DS game is Phantom Hourglass. Also, I'm on a weight loss journey and I feel amazing. Hope you two guys are doing well. I just started lifting weights and my pectorals. My pectorals are sore. So, yeah, Major, if you have any advice, if anyone has any advice on how to, I got some dumbbells. That's what I'm using. And tell me how to do stuff good.
I thought you were, when I was watching, I saw you scratching. I thought you were calling your man boobs dumbbells. And I was like, what do you do?
I got these dumbbells. No, I was not. I was saying my pectorals are sore.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll tell you what. I'll just say it. I wasn't a big fan of those Phantom Hourglass or of Spirit Tracks, and I want to be. I think I can maybe get into Spirit Tracks if I give it another good try. But it had that problem of those really slow starts that all those Zelda games had back then. They tried to do the Wind Waker thing on DS, which had mixed results. It didn't look fantastic, and I love the Wind Waker, so and these are direct sequels to Wind Waker, so I wanted to really like them. I just could never quite fall in love with them. And they had that weird, really touch, the dungeon where you control that phantom, and I don't know. Maybe someday I'll get. I think they're the only two mainline Zelda games I haven't beaten, actually. Yeah, that's true.
From Jared Helder, the DS was my favorite Nintendo console, and Mario Kart DS was my jam. Special mention to Chinatown Wars, and I'm currently playing Dragon Quest V.
It's hard to overstate how much better Mario Kart DS was than the Game Boy Advance Mario Kart. DS was fantastic. Yeah. It was one of the first portable. It had online support. I remember it was a big deal. People would go to McDonald's because they had free Wi-Fi just to play Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart DS was fantastic, and like Meteos, it was. As soon as the snaking thing became a big thing online, I'm like, man, this is not fun anymore. You have to snake. And I got good at snaking and I was fine. But it's so you'd either go against someone else who was really good at snaking and it would be a close battle. And it was just this stupid people. Snaking, for people to know, is just constantly be power drifting no matter what. Whether you're on a straight or not, you're just always power drifting. And you would set up your cart so that would work out well for you. And then you go up against some kid who doesn't know that. And it's just okay, I've lapped them twice and this is stupid now. Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 definitely improved and fixed that problem. So yeah. Let's see here. Puppies on Acid has a related question. Will we ever see Chinese emulation hardware for DS? I think we probably will. The problem is you want to do you want to do a system that can do a lot of different stuff, so they might want to wait until they could do the 3DS as well, and that might take a little bit more power than what they have right at the moment. That's probably not too far off. But yeah, they'll probably want to wait and do both of those at the same time, because when you buy an Ambernick now, that could do 15 different systems really easily, and they kind of want to have that sort of they want to sell that, and not just oh, this is just a DS thing. James Gold says, just played through Chrono Trigger for the first time on the 3DS. The game has aged really well. Also, shout out to puzzle games like Picross and Sudoku on DS. We talked about Chrono Trigger, but Picross, another game that could be my number one. I love the Picross games on DS. They were very, very, very good. And then I like Sudoku on Brain Age and stuff like that. That's when I got into Sudoku. Eric Rickerhauser says Dragon Quest IX, Sentinels of the Starry Skies got me into JRPGs. The story was great, and I think it's one of the best DS games that people overlook. I even played a lot of that game and liked it.
Man, the DS really helped RPGs, especially JRPGs, stay alive. JRPGs specifically, at a time when the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were not really getting a ton of them, especially when compared to how many you used to see in the PlayStation or even the PlayStation 2 days.
Let's see from let's see. Pillar to Post has a more general question. We'll get to that in a second. Old Taco says, not my favorite, but shout out to Super Princess Peach. The game extremely average, but idea itself is great. I'd want a similar modern entry. Yeah, I had really high hopes for Super Princess Peach, and it was kind of disappointing.
I tell you what, it's shocking that's the only Peach starring game still. I know a lot of people, and I think it was supposed to appeal more towards women, and it did. I have a lot of friends now who are I loved Super Princess Peach when I was a younger girl, because it felt like Nintendo made a game for me finally.
Yeah, I think that it was very much her superpowers are her her womanly characteristics. Like she can cry so much that she can like fill up something with her
Sure.
tears, and it's
Yeah,
like,
in some
oh,
ways that
okay.
might be problematic. I didn't actually play it, so I didn't even know
It was
that, so that's
problematic then.
interesting.
I remember it being problematic then.
Okay.
People
Yeah, I didn't
mentioned
even
it
know
then.
that.
Yes. So,
Don't look. It's not my fault. I didn't make. I'm sorry.
God,
people
how
liked
dare
it.
you, Mike? Yeah. But even then, I think it was probably, yeah, it's something that would appeal to kids, and I'm glad there were girls that liked it. That's great. All right, some other questions from, you know what? Actually, before we get these questions, Mike, any other DS games you want to mention?
Well, apparently I missed Mattathias' pick, so I'm trying to find it. Mattathias, you want to just tell me in chat? I'll say it because we had so many. But
All right.
there was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to. Let me just Rhythm Heaven. I don't think anyone said Rhythm Heaven. We got a lot of elite beat agents, but Rhythm Heaven was also so good. It's from the WarioWare team. It was a lot of touchscreen games. It was a fantastic game. That's one I would go back to right now and still have a great time with. I think they've done some like Rhythm Heaven like collections like they did on the 3DS, and that's great as well. That's if you want to go back to one, that's probably the one to go back to. But the one on DS was so much fun. I 100% in it, or got close. I think I needed my wife's help, who has a little bit better rhythm than me, and she played a lot of that game too. I think she 100%ed it as well. It's just fantastic.
Maybe my second place would probably be Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which was the Phoenix Wright games I loved, and I
Yes.
associate those with the DS also, and I could just say that trilogy as well, even though I know those were originally Game Boy Advance games in Japan, blah blah blah. But Ghost Trick from that same team is really cool. It takes better advantage of the DS stuff. It's still like kind of that sort of puzzle adventure game where you're just trying to. You have a lot of environmental puzzles, and first you're this ghost, and your thing you can do is you can swap between objects and you can kind of manipulate them, and it's a bit of a time loop thing. You have to figure out how to set things up the right way so that person who is going to die lives instead. And then you get other characters, like there's the one who can swap two objects as long as they're the same general shape, even if they're of different sizes, so you use that to really mess around with things. Also, it also has the Missile, who is the greatest dog in video games ever. Just, man, what a fantastic character. Really good story in this one. Just super fun, super memorable. I absolutely love it. Ryan just sent a super chat saying no one mentioned Professor Layton. Yeah, those games also very good.
I was going to get to that. Yeah, my stuff here, but I'm glad you did. Yeah. Professor Layton games were up there for me. The first one especially, but all of them were great.
Yeah, the first three were all really. I eventually fell off because there were just so many of them. But
right, but like those matchstick puzzles that like were in there, and then like matchstick puzzle games, like they released games that were just matchstick puzzle games because they were so popular. In that, Henry Hatsworth was fantastic.
I was just about to bring it up. Henry Hatsworth and the Puzzling Adventure. Holy crap, that game is good. That is a super underappreciated game. It's basically
underappreciated gem. One of the ones that people should go back to and play.
It's basically Mega Man X with like an old British like gentleman adventurer theme, where you also have to play a match 3 puzzle game on the bottom, like at the same time.
And you go and you swap between them at the same time. And like the more you do on the bottom screen with the puzzle game, the more powerful you get on the top screen and all that stuff. It's really well done.
It's super cool, and it's something that is so DS, right? Like you really cannot do that on anything else.
Hotel Dusk, which is one of the
another one I was gonna bring up.
A visual novel that I actually really liked, but it's like you hold the DS sideways like a book, and it had great style and cool stuff going on. It was really well done. I'm going off. Mike, do you have any other ones you want to mention?
Man, you got Hotel Dusk and freaking
Henry
Hatsworth were big ones. Another one, some people brought it up, but we didn't really talk about it yet. The World Ends With You was a really big one for me. The new one just came out, and I like it fine, but I'm just not quite as into it. A big part of the appeal of the original World Ends With You was, again, it had a really cool dual screen mechanic where you were basically playing as two separate characters in two different battlefields at the same time in this really neat way. And the new game just isn't quite like that. It just doesn't quite grab my attention the same way. But the original World Ends With You, that hit me pretty hard back then.
Clubhouse games. They've released one on Switch now, so you don't need to go back and play this one. But the Clubhouse games for the DS had like online play, and it was like the new Clubhouse games with like chess and checkers and 4-men's Morris or whatever, 9-men's Morris, whatever it is. But it was like, it also had like darts and some like touchscreen games that were like just on there. It was really well done. It was really strange how popular it was among like the people I was playing with. So it was fun to like play those games with people online. And the Switch version is probably better now, so just stick to that. But it was great at the time.
Oh man, it's a game I play it, but it's like really high on my to-do list is Radiant Historia, which is kind of supposed to be like a JRPG that's pretty similar to Chrono Trigger that everybody likes. Again, just a lot of JRPGs. No one brought up Bowser's Inside Story.
Yeah,
which is
that's
really well
like
liked.
one that I love, but I just don't like it as much as Superstar Saga. So it just wasn't going to get rank for me on the DS. But it's still fantastic. I mean, there's just a lot of good games on the DS. In Tony Hawk's American Skateland, which was, like I said earlier, was probably like my number 2 or something like that. I go back and play that all the time and still love it. It's still like an ideal Tony Hawk game for me. Absolutely. I think that does it for me though, Mike. I got some other super chats I can get to.
I think that's about it. I already said Ryan's here, so
great, thank you. So okay, let's see here. Let's see, from pillar to post, rolling through New Mexico, listening to you. I'm actually going to be in New Mexico in about a week, 2 weeks, I think. Do you think Square and Nintendo will ever do a Mario RPG remake? I think it would be awesome. I think it would be awesome too, but I don't think they ever will.
No.
I just think they don't want to work together like that, and I don't think Square Enix wants to work on a game for Nintendo like that. If anything, they want to keep working on Kingdom Hearts, which is kind of the thing that I think was like, hey, if we're going to do a partnership like that, let's do something with someone who isn't Nintendo or isn't one of these other companies, and we'll kind of take ownership of it and not have to worry about dealing with someone like Nintendo. I would love to see it. Super Mario RPG is still fantastic. I'm actually still playing through it on Retroid Pocket right now, but nearly finished, and it still holds up. I wish they would just release that game, period. Like, just do that. Let's see. Uriel Delgado says, are prominent Nintendo YouTubers required to not mention emulation by Nintendo? Nintendo Life made a video on playing retro games via Wii/Wii U after Steam Deck was announced. I know Nintendo does not like it. They do not like it when those... but the thing is, a lot of those YouTube creators are Nintendo ambassadors or something like that. And I think that is a little bit... I think that doesn't even mean they're being paid by Nintendo. I think it just means they sometimes get some games early. But they don't want to mess up those relationships. So I get it. But
they don't want to get in jail like us.
They don't want to be in jail. But we're already in jail, so we're just going to keep doing crimes. I think we got all the super chats, Mike.
Yeah, I think we're all caught up, and I think that's just about everything. Jeff, you've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy. You did a preview event. Why don't you talk about that a bit?
Yeah,
before we get out of here.
Yes, Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to the Switch as a cloud streaming version. I think, it's probably going to be fine if that's how you play it. I played it on Parsec. Probably the PC version is probably what I was playing. That's what makes sense. I was playing on Parsec.
Yeah, it's always when you do Parsec.
Yeah, so it's really okay. I
Your
think
expectations were pretty low.
My expectations are very low. When I see it in trailers, I think it looks bad. I think once I got my hands on the controllers, a lot of the things that I thought looked bad, like the animations look cheap and I think the characters look off. All that stuff is still pretty much true, but it's nailing kind of the things it needs to nail. The characters are still kind of fun to be around, even if they absolutely are just imitations of the movie versions. So you have to get over that hump a little bit, just like you did with Avengers. But I think if you had fun with the Avengers campaign, you'll have fun here. The key thing that they do with this game, though, is they do make it about the Guardians of the Galaxy team. You are controlling Peter Quill. You control Star-Lord, but you have a lot of say in how the team behaves in combat. Like your sort of, I guess, like MMO-style cooldown superpowers in the bottom corner are just calling on your friends to come in and do attacks in the middle of the battle. So you call Drax in, say, hey, knock this guy up in the air, and the person goes up in the air and they're defenseless, and you could shoot them a bunch of times. And you need to be using those a lot. It actually took me a long time because I did not watch the tutorial videos that I was supposed to watch before the thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was funny because after the thing, they were like, hey, Jeff, we were watching your gameplay. It seems like you weren't using the stuff you're supposed to use most of the time. I'm like, oh, okay, listen, by the end, I figured it out. I know I'm a games journalist, but please. But by the end, I did figure it out, and it was like, okay, once you start like peppering in the like, hey, Drax do this, Gamora do that, Rocket do this, and then you are firing as Peter Quill all throughout that and dodging stuff and doing your moves. Like that combat feels very dynamic and good. And then you are building up towards a couple of other options that involve the teams where you might get an enemy towards being knocked out, and then you could do a special move where one, like you run a train on the enemy where let's say, okay, Peter Peter Quill's gonna punch you, and then Drax is gonna come in, and it's all cinematic and stuff, and it looks kind of cheap still. It kind of looks like they are doing this stuff on a budget, but it's still fun because it's like Rocket Raccoon being, you know, silly and coming in and blowing someone up with some explosives. And then the other thing you work towards is a huddle up moment where once you build up this meter.
It sounded awesome.
This is okay, and I think it's okay to awesome. It's going to depend on, I think, like the music and how they pull it off. But so this is how it goes. Like you build up the meter and you huddle up in the middle of combat, and the combat stops, and all of the characters come together, and the background's all like 1980s, like a school picture with like lasers in the background or whatever. And everyone like, okay, so we got the whole team here, and the team's like, hey, we're getting beat up. They're like, we just can't do this or this and this. And then you get presented with two dialogue options, and you have to like say the right thing to your team to help make sure they come out of this thing feeling good. And while you're doing this, like Peter Quill hits play on his little Walkman to play music, and a couple of times, like in mine, it was like White Wedding by Billy Idol, and it's like Billy Idol starts playing in the background. That really does work. That pop music needle drop really does work. And then you say the thing, and if it's the right thing, they're all like, all right, you go out there and everyone's powered up because you said the right thing. And I think if you don't say the right thing, you do get a little bit of a debuff, I think, but you still get like the music playing and all that stuff.
Obvious? Is it like when it's like, stop being a bunch of fucking assholes?
Yeah,
like that's the bad one.
No, not necessarily. I think maybe it's more obvious. Maybe I was being bad at it. I'll have to like look. I recorded it, even though I think I can't share any of that stuff. But just like for my own memory, I recorded it. So I'll go back and check and see exactly what the dialogue options were.
With sharing our recorded gameplay footage with people too.
And so I was like, that's a cool idea. I think I got it a couple times throughout the hour that I played. And it played different music each time, which I think was good. And the dialogue options were almost always different. I think that's good. It does feel like, okay, maybe if you're trying to get through these things fast, it's like, okay. Or if you like die, like I died because I was not calling my friends in to help me during combat. So I died. And then I went through the same stuff again, and I got to the point where I was doing that moment again. And I'm like, okay, actually, I would just kind of like want to skip past this and get right back into combat so I can move ahead from where I was before. But still, all that said, I think if you are into Guardians of the Galaxy and you are okay with this feeling like a cheap imitation in some ways, it's going to be fun. It's going to be pretty solid, I think. I think as long as you are okay with those shortcomings that are obvious just looking at it. So if you go and look at a trailer and you're like, okay, that stuff, yeah, it bothers me, but I bet once I start playing, it'll be okay. That's exactly what it was for me. Yeah. Once I started playing, I was mostly into what was happening.
I guess I just wonder how much like people are going to get past that imposter syndrome, because I think that did have an impact on the Avengers. And,
yes, absolutely. It's not what Spider-Man was doing. Spider-Man feels like its own thing so much.
And you brought that up, and I was thinking about that because, yeah, Spider-Man absolutely does. I think it helped them that the MCU version of Spider-Man is so kind of non-traditional, right?
Right.
I think it was easier for them to set themselves apart. But I mean, maybe Everett should be like, this is really leaning heavily into those movie versions that we know, so much so that you have to wonder, like, man, how much more successful would this be if it just straight up was, hey, we got Chris Pratt, we got Bautista here, right?
Right.
Like,
but it just feels like they're spending enough money getting the IP that they don't want to spend money then to go get likeness rights. That's what it feels like looking at it. And I get that, and if that's what it takes to get this game, I'm accepting of it. But it definitely is going to hurt it in perception a little bit. The teamwork stuff does exist outside of combat. Like a lot of times we were exploring the space, and I got to a point where a door was locked, and there was this thing on the wall, and I'm like, how do I get past this? And I start I see the option to bring up my teammates and like say, hey, I could talk to you, and you can sort of like lock on the thing and talk to people and say, hey, let's do this. And the person who needs to hack this thing is Rocket. He's the person that's good at that. But he's mad at me for something I did earlier in the game. And so he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. So then I have to like talk to all the other people on the team to say, hey, can you get Rocket to come in here and help us with this? And eventually you like go through everybody. Everyone tries to get Rocket to do it. And then at the end, you go back to Rocket and talk to him again. And you say, okay, after this, get this door open and we'll do what you said. We'll do what you want to do, Rocket. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And so it's like, there's a lot of cool tension happening between the characters, and it's all brought up through like this gameplay moment. And that stuff also works. I think that's, once I realized like that's going to be a lot of the game, I think, I'm like, okay, I think this stuff could work. So I'm into it.
Cool. Yeah. So be interesting to see. All right, man. We've been online for a while here. I've been playing Cruisin' Blast, and it's fun. Basically, everything Jeff said is true. It's a good time, and it's something you should look into. It's a big surprise sleeper hit. I mean, I never thought that the sequel to Cruisin' USA might be in my top 10 for 2022, but here we are. Here we are. Jeff, we got one more super chat here. You want to read that one?
Achievement. Here are the beef and cheddars I promised you, Jeff. I think he said if I followed him, he would send me 5 or 4 beef and cheddars or whatever. So, hey, there we go.
Beef and cheddars cost way more than they do.
Yeah, wait, you be quiet. No, they cost about like $4, $4 or $5. So yeah.
In my mind, I still remember my mom would get the 5 for $5 beef and cheddars, and I'd get it in my lunch forever. Right?
Yeah, but any company that's done that $5 thing. Yeah, give me whatever you want. Here's my credit card. Put it on my tab.
Whatever. Give me, I need it.
All right, thank you everybody so much for watching and for putting up with the shenanigans this episode. I appreciate everybody.
We got through it all. We had a good time. We have the directs tomorrow. We'll be covering that. Yeah, Jeff, just me and you. We got to do a game plan. Are we gonna do you want to live stream while we work on that one for once? I don't know.
Let's do it. Why not?
Disaster. Let's try it. Wait,
it'll be disaster. Yeah, we'll do it right here, everybody. So just
you can hear a lot of keyboard clacking, but you'll like it.
YouTube or Twitch for that. We'll probably just do it on YouTube. Yeah. So just show up here for YouTube. We'll do it, and you can come hang out with us, watch us live if you want. There's probably going to be more entertaining ways to watch it. So yeah, if you want to come hang out with us specifically, we'll be here. We'll do it.
We'll be here. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Last of the Nintendogs. Next week, we're talking about our favorite 3DS games, so start thinking about that. And man, that's the last one, isn't it? Yeah, that is. Okay. Yeah, 3DS games. So something else to think about, man.
Well, we already did our favorite Switch games. I was like, we do Switch games, but I'm like, nope. Wow, okay, that's gonna be strange. All right, we didn't do favorite Virtual Boy game, so
well, I mean, does anybody have an answer that's not just that one like decent Wario game?
I like Tellero Boxer.
Did you? Because I liked Mario Clash fine. Apparently, people didn't like that.
Is okay. Yeah. All right, let's end this poll. Last time I checked, it had 100 votes. It has 198 votes. So I asked the chat here, what do you prefer, Game Boy Advance or Nintendo DS? We're about to get the results, which Mike is going to read to you once they pop off and he has them in front of him.
Yeah, the results are it's close-ish, but 52% for Game Boy Advance, 47% for DS.
That's really close.
I think I'm in Camp DS. There's just a lot of games there that really speak to me. I loved the DS, man. That was great stuff.
If I had to go, okay, you get a DS and you can never play Game Boy Advance again, or you get a Game Boy Advance and can never play DS again. I would be sad either way. That would be devastating because there's so much good stuff on both. Sure. But I think I would be more devastated if I couldn't have Game Boy Advance. I think.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, the variety is spice of lay. We got both of them covered now.
Yep.
All right. So we'll be back tomorrow with the Nintendo Direct. We'll be back on Friday with Games Beat Decides. Check out Jeff tomorrow also on the on Giant Bomb. He's going to be doing
Grubb Snacks.
Yeah. And hopefully that time is not. Yeah, no, you'll be done with that plenty of time before this 3 p.m. Pacific direct starts.
That works out real well.
Yeah. Hey, check out 90s Disney. My 90s Disney podcast. Our roller coaster episode is up. We're talking about our favorite roller coasters in the Disney parks and a few outside of them. So fun stuff. Not me so much because I'm a coward, but my brothers go on roller coasters all the time. Jeff, what do you want to say?
I was interested. I'm like, I can't wait to listen to see what Mike talks about that episode, or if he just stays quiet the entire time.
I'm gonna say a moderator.
Okay. Fair enough. I am How Games Make Money. We'll have a new episode coming up. I think this week or next week. I don't know. We'll see. Probably next week because it's getting late now. I've got some reviews going up on the website for some hardware, some like sound bars that I think are actually pretty good. A surround system for gaming that I think is actually pretty fantastic. So I'll be putting that stuff up soon. Keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna review this Razer Wolverine 2 controller for the Xbox and PC. So look out for that too.
Wolverine hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, and V2. Really there we go. Very well done. All right, buddy. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Cruisin' Blast.